Grab your blueberry muffin and a bowl of Jenna's world-famous clam chowder and join us for a delightful conversation about Carter's favorite Nancy Drew game, Danger on Deception Island. From cozy seaside vibes to trauma-inducing driftwood puzzles to Hilda Swenson's quirky scavenger hunts, we'll walk you through every moment of this classic mystery, making ridiculous puns and quoting lots of dialogue along the way. Regardless of where you land on DDI, there's one thing we can all agree on. Whales rule! What is up, everyone? Welcome back to your favorite podcast. Stay tuned for deep dives. My name is Carter, and I'm with my co-host Tori, and hopefully you caught my pun there, because we are diving deep into the ocean today, Tori.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Deep dives.
Yes.
This game's full of them.
Really, it is. And I accidentally, if you're listening today, made a pun about this game solely not because I'm that good at it. Tori is truly the queen of puns. It's because of my accent, and I was saying well, but I said whale, and those are not, I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep making puns. Maybe I'll keep making Danger on Deception Island puns this whole time.
Let it flow out of you.
I want it to.
And if you
like
turn into a humpback whale before this episode's over, that's okay too.
I'm pretty sure I have that Whale World puzzle memorized, so I should be able to tell you what all 5 sounds they make. But I'm really giddy to talk about Danger on Deception Island today with you, Tori, because it is my favorite Nancy Drew game. It's my one.
You've made no secret about this.
No, I have not. In any way and in any capacity that I can tell somebody that it is my favorite game, I will. I will let the fandom know. Yeah.
Yes, but you're a man of purpose.
That was so smooth. I hope y'all all heard that. That was so smooth. Wow. I hope I can come up with something that good. Because that was so good. Oh, well.
I should just mention too, it's not my favorite game, but it's high up there. I think it sits somewhere around. I feel like I don't know what my ranking is anymore because we started this podcast and everything blew up.
Did it really?
But it's somewhere safe to say like around top 5.
Oh,
I can very confidently say it sits in there. So.
Yeah. First of all, I didn't know that it had
blown.
This is blown up. Like this has maybe changed your ranking. This podcast.
Oh yeah, Carter. I don't know what I think about these games at all anymore since we started.
I wonder if other people listening feel the same way.
I'm looking at ones that I used to have low, and I'm like, no, that should be higher. And I'm looking at other ones that I had high, and I'm like, no, that should be lower.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, but
there is.
Yeah, no confusion on this game.
It's interesting because I don't think that I knew how popular of a game it was until I recently started with the Instagram Nancy Drew Times and getting more involved with the fandom. Yeah. And even then, I feel like Danger on Deception Island has, since starting when I started that page in the pandemic till now, I feel like it's actually kind of grown, in my opinion, in people that love it. Because to me, when I was even in high school playing the Nancy Drew games, I feel like I always heard about like Shadow Ranch and Treasure in Royal Tower and Curse of Blackmore Manor.
Yeah.
But I never really heard like people being super, super duper passionate about this game. And so I didn't know that it was as loved as it was until I was really closely associated with fans like on Instagram. I was like, oh, people actually go to bat for Danger on Deception Island a lot more than what I thought.
Yeah, and whatever, wasn't it the most recent fan favorite survey? I don't remember exactly where it landed, but it was very high.
Yes, it was.
Like, I think also either like top 3 or top 5.
It was, and it beat a lot of the games that, I remember being like, those were the ones that, and so I was like, whoa, what? So it's interesting now to kind of see that. I don't know if maybe because the cozy aesthetic is at an all-time high, and so I don't know if people are more drawn to Danger on Deception Island for that. Yeah, that's maybe my intuition for why it may be trending popular right now. Um, I don't know. just just my onion.
Yeah.
But
Well, and also, as I'm sure we're going to highlight today, it has so many genuinely fantastic qualities.
yeah, and actually that's what I'm excited about is, speaking of onions, is that we chose this season to be the season of onions, onion powder. And so you and we are getting to share our we're just sprinkling it all in. But no, we get to kind of share our onions, and I'm excited about it because we chose to have an episode dedicated to our favorite games. And so I'm thrilled because I am always down for a chat about Danger on Deception Island, and I feel like it's warranted. I'm like, you know what? It's trending right now in the fandom. People are all talking about it because do you remember I've been sending them to you? Because lately in the last 6 months, I've been seeing people talk about Danger on Deception Island, and like I don't know, I just feel like it's been in the talks lately in the fandom. So I'm excited to kind of cover it with you from, you know, beginning to end. I was going to just kind of start off before we actually even jumped into, the game itself. I wanted to give just quick background for those that may be listening and don't know. But Danger on Deception Island, yes, is my favorite, but it also was my first game, the game that introduced me to the Nancy Drew games. And I was immediately hooked into the story within the first 5 minutes of playing. And it kept my interest throughout the entirety of the game. I was very young. I was about 6 years old and couldn't
Aw.
couldn't even touch the floor with my legs, like feet dangling, like sitting at the computer. We actually had our computer room was actually underneath our stairs, like think Harry Potter
Oh
room.
my
That's
goodness, you were the boy in the cupboard.
I was the boy in the cupboard, yes, and I was playing DDI. And my mom actually found the game because she needed something for me to do while I stayed with her at work after school for a few hours. And she found a subscription to a third party, like gaming place. You could download games. You get like 3 games a month or something for you'd pay a monthly fee. And this third party gaming place was based in Washington. So I think they had some kind of deal with Her Interactive where Her Interactive had put their games on it. And we literally looked up mystery games. And that was the first few games that popped up was Nancy Drew games. And we read about that one. And I thought it was interesting and wanted to play it. And that's how I got into the games. So that's like my quick origin story of how I started.
Aw.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I'm immediately starting off into the game. Uh, 6-year-old me. The opening the opening letter of Danger on Deception Island. I've seen a lot of people say that this game is really good at setting the tone and setting the atmosphere for what you're about to kind of get into. That it's this foggy, quaint town. There's something mysterious about it and intriguing, but you don't know why, but you really want to like kind of still get into it and solve whatever this is. And I feel like that starts immediately in the letter. And I'm just absolutely obsessed with it because I love the way that Nancy, she's, writing a letter to Ned, and she's talking about like, hey, I'm gonna go on this trip and all this stuff, and then she ends the letter out, and she's like, I don't know why I feel this way. I just maybe it's because it's all the fog, or maybe it's because the sun's not out and it's just kind of and the skies are just kind of gray, and I think that that is great to hear and read and see because it like sets the tone of the atmosphere for the rest of the game. You're going to be in this foggy, just isolated small town. What mysteries will we uncover? Um, does this town have secrets? A foggy town we can't see, we can't anything. Are there things we can't see?
Yeah,
Um,
what's hiding?
what's hiding behind closed doors? Like that's the vibe that it gives me just from the letter alone. And there's actually not many. I think there's a few Nancy Drew games where I also feel very strongly about like, oh, the letter sets the tone, but this one for me definitely sets the tone. Um, so I love it.
You know what it's funny, what I always think most is the fact that, like, pub is playing in the background.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so it's like very, very cheery, which I guess we should go ahead and mention now. We're actually, if you want the music conversation, well, hopefully you've already heard the like 20 minutes or 25 minutes, whatever it was that Carter and I spent talking about just this soundtrack. So if you need the soundtrack deep dive, go to our Kevin Manthe part 1 episode, also in this season. But um I always like, it's so inviting, but yeah, then there's like that hint of like, I don't know, which is a perfect lead in, I feel like, to how the game starts.
I know. And see, here's the deal is that I actually find that this storyline, the way that it starts, you end up immediately dropping in, like you're with Katie immediately, and she's kind of giving you like the lowdown of what's been going on. And well, actually, no. She actually gives you the lowdown of like, oh yeah, like it's gonna be a great time. You're gonna have a great time here, boating, kayaking, and all this stuff. Like she's just kind of like talking, and then you get to the boat, and the boat's been ransacked. I actually find that to be very intriguing. And there are some fans that mention, like, I think they always want to go for like the really exciting, very like in your face kind of introductions, like Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake or Curse of Blackmore Manor. But I think that even though this is not one there's an immediate threat, like right off the bat, there's a mystery right off the bat. There's something to solve and to question and go, what's going on here? And I find that really intriguing. That's what I love about a good when I read a mystery book. I don't need a bunch of action right in the very beginning. I just want intrigue, just something to kind of make me question things. And I love that the story sets off like that. And also, I love being on Katie's boat. I love it. Like, it's the best thing ever. I can't really think of many other, what is it, maybe Sea of Darkness? Is that like the only other boat that we actually get to be on? Other than the sailboat and Ransom of Seven Ships, but like an actual
Oh,
boat?
yeah.
Yeah,
Probably so.
I think so. And I love it. I think it's awesome that it's not just another building that we get to go to, but we're on a boat. We get to explore a boat. I'm excited. Yes, I want to explore every cabinet and just rock on the boat and just have a good time and enjoy it. Um, but tell me about I think what I want to know, because I know how I play Danger on Deception Island because I've played it many times. When you get on the boat, what's the like first thing that you end up going to or doing after Nancy gets packed in her suitcase in the room? Like where's like the first place you explore? I'm just curious.
I think usually, not counting, I mean, I probably, honestly, probably usually open the door that the freezer's
That's
in
what I
first,
do
just
too. That's
just
what I
because it's
do
right
too.
there.
Yeah. I'm like, what's this door? Open it immediately.
I think I usually kind of make a, like, almost like a circle around the room this way.
And then you
Door,
go up the stairs.
keep going to the right. No, I don't know. Actually, I do.
You don't go up the stairs?
I usually do everything that can possibly be done downstairs first. So after seeing this
Oh.
like freezer chest, I'm usually over at the laptop, which then means I'm immediately getting sucked into like two things, like all the stuff on the internet browser,
Yeah.
because there's like those articles you can read, which great, like immediate, which by the way, like since I'm talking about it, like
Yes.
the immediate, like the world building there, because you have this like town newspaper, and so you find out, oh, there's been thefts, And then you find out about this guy named Holt Scotto who's like running for harbor master, and then you also find out about and Katie's already told us about this at this point, but like
Sure.
you read more about the orca, and then I always the calendar, um which I love the calendar because first of all, like Katie really loves her coffee. Gotta love a girl who just puts the coffee break at Hot Kettle Cafe. Yay!
Cozy time. Yeah, no.
uh,
But no,
yeah.
you bring up a good point though with the computer and the laptop. Like
And I
so
didn't even mention the email. I don't know when we want to talk about
oh
the
my gosh.
emails, but
I know. No, actually it's so
that's usually where I'm at.
you were saying like you go in a circle. I do too. I think I open the door and then like I look at the luggage, I turn around and I go to the door because I'm like, oh, a door, let's open it. And then I just go straight to the left. I'm like straight to the pipes and the sandwich making, then the laptop.
Yeah,
Then
that'd
I'm
usually
going
be
up
the last thing I do. And
yeah,
then
then I'm going
upstairs.
upstairs. Yeah. But no, since you brought it up, the laptop. Yeah, no. There like other games, this one also has really great world building, and a lot of it has to do with the laptop and what comes out of the laptop. I remember reading those emails, and still, like, yes, it's my favorite game, but even if I had only played the game once or twice, I still feel like I would remember those emails because they were so specific to the story of like Daddy Drew's day off, and like
I'm already laughing thinking about it.
no, I know. And so you don't really actually get a whole lot of details like that about what's happening at home while Nancy's solving a mystery. And it was it was really nice to have those touches because it it doesn't like pull you out of the mystery, but I feel like it's like, oh yeah, Nancy has more like of a life outside of where we're at right now, and things are happening right now while we're doing this. Um, it's very immersive, actually, which I love.
Now you mentioned over on the left side of the room, um, that pipes puzzle. I would say that's usually, unless I am purposefully like forcing myself to play differently outside my norm, that would be like 99% of the time first puzzle.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
am probably most other people are doing in that game is the pipes puzzle. And I just need to know, did you also suffer from the experience playing this of thinking, I'm going to build top down?
No, actually, I don't
You
think
did not have that problem?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I did. For the longest time, my instinct was always, well, of course, you build top down. So I'm start from the top, build your way down to the bottom of the sink. And so imagine how I feel as Nancy is repeatedly refusing, like no pipes are going in place. And
That doesn't go
why,
here.
why is nothing working? And then realizing, oh, go the opposite direction. And then Nancy will cheerlead you the whole way. That looks right. This goes here.
Etched into my brain those lines that Lonnie Manella read.
It's,
No,
yeah.
okay, that never occurred to me. Obviously, now that you say that, it definitely makes sense that you would go from top to bottom. But I don't know. I don't
What's the
know.
thing about?
I,
Wow. So yeah.
I don't know why I know my brain. I've always built it from bottom to top.
You're one of the blessed ones. Well, maybe other people are gonna comment and they're gonna be more on one side or the other, and we'll find out.
I'm
Like
curious to know.
I'm the strange one for thinking you should go to the top down.
No, but
I
that
don't
makes
know.
sense because
Okay, people, we need to know. Like,
the
please put it
pipes
in the
from the sink.
comments.
No, that really does make so much sense. But I don't know why. I've always gone from bottom to top. But yes, the pipes. And then you finish that puzzle and there's something at the bottom that you get. And
And
I've
you
actually seen I've actually seen people say like, what an obvious culprit this game has because it tells you right there at the very beginning. And I'm like,
one man's obvious as another person's gutsy.
I'm like,
No.
um, I didn't get that same thing there. I didn't.
No.
That wasn't
I
my
never
experience.
once never once from that Whale World card thought, oh, there's your culprit.
Yeah, I didn't
Which is
either.
why I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite like breadcrumbs in the series that they have the nerve to tell you from the beginning. Yeah, there's your guy, and then we're gonna throw so many Atlantic red herrings at you that you won't know what to do with all of this information.
And I love that too. I mean, I guess looking back, you're like, wow, I can't believe that they were just laying it right there. But 6-year-old me, and honestly, even playing it later, I'm like, no, the suspicion that they put on a lot of people, like all the like suspects, like it was good.
Yeah.
And of course, I know we'll talk more about like the ending later, but I think they did a great job throwing. Honestly, in my opinion, like just first playing, like what I thought the card was for, I thought Katie was up to something. I was like, oh, okay, she's got his business card because she's, I don't know, gonna go like sabotage just because he's like having tours with the whale or something, and she doesn't like. I don't know. That's where my
Oh,
gears were turning. I
okay.
didn't really think like, oh, he left his card behind. Like that just didn't, because of the way that it was placed. I'm like, how somebody, can you imagine someone's bent down messing all the pipes up and a card slips out of their wallet from their pocket underneath a bunch of pipes? Like it doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's not the vibe I got.
Yes. Yeah, I think we might as well also, while we're in that corner of the room, we should probably talk about, because one thing I think is hilarious about this game. Well, two things. Like we sandwich making. Okay, the infinite number of things we could say about sandwich making. Okay, the 30-year-old mayonnaise. Like
Love
it's
it.
past 30 years old
Happy
now.
birthday, Mayo.
Like Carter did a whole anniversary celebration
I sure
on
did.
social media for that
Actually,
mayonnaise.
I think that mayonnaise birthday's coming up. It's in September, I think. Happy birthday.
That's hilarious. Okay. Fist and Anvil baking soda. First, like her interactive, always with the clever little spoofs. The corner store, and you show the
The
core of
little
an
core and
apple.
apple. Yep.
Um, and what I was starting to say was, I think this game is delightfully like they're so savage in how easily they like set you up to fail in this game. It's like they sat down, they're like, how many second chances can we trick them into? Because now I realize there's some things like, let's be real. If you're putting that cheese on the sandwich that looks like it's been under like Louis Stevens's bed for, you know, 10 years, or if you're using the jellyfish, that's on you, but the mayonnaise, that's a little bit sneaky. More and a little bit sneaky, and also I can confirm, like, Nancy can't handle the hot sauce. Like, girl, you're weak. Strengthen your stomach, but also I'm like, her interactive, they are so nasty. It's like they want to immediately like cause food poisoning. And I've seen so many people like fail immediately at this game because
Yeah.
they can't make a sandwich. And that's the funniest thing to me.
You know what's also really great, which I don't know if a lot of people actually know this or not, but it's funny because you can eat, keep, or throw away. And you can make the sandwich in the very beginning of the game and then keep it. And Nancy will actually offer the sandwich to other to other suspects, like as she comes in contact with them. So you could actually like offer Holt a sandwich. He won't take it,
Can you?
but you can
It's
offer
so
it to him.
funny. I don't think I've ever actually tried that. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, yeah, it's so funny. So funny. But I don't even think I mentioned this when we were over by the computer, but I'll just slightly go back over there just real quick so we can mention it because it was something that I did want to mention. Um, that you get a very brief rundown from Katie outside the boat before Nancy goes to unpack, and Katie gives a very, brief summary of what's happening. There's very interesting piece of paper next to the laptop that talks about like a town hall meeting, and it's interesting because the place where the town hall meeting is taking place is called Swenson Hall, and I guess what you'd call it, like the phrase of the flyer, the poster is like, be present, be heard, and everything. And later you come to find out through reading like a newspaper article, and also once you actually meet Hilda Swenson, that she used to be the mayor of the town, and people have basically like turned their back from her because they call her crazy and they isolate her and stuff. And so I just found that to be very ironic that there's this flyer that says, "Oh, come be heard, be present," and this lady who really cares about her town and has shown that she cares by trying to lead it to great places, can't be heard by any of the townspeople because they have shut her off and treated her as like this crazy woman. So yeah,
and then it turns out that it's the outsider Nancy Drew who's the one who finally listens.
Yes,
and realize, yeah, there's a whole lot of thematic tensions in this story, about being an insider in the community versus an outsider, because like that's a big aspect of Katie. And I even kind of get the sense that Andy is like an outsider almost by choice. And even like on the map, like Whale World's kind of far away from everything else.
I love that idea.
And and Jenna makes those comments about like, yeah, he'll come in and get coffee or whatever it is that he does, but it's like, Jenna and Holt are in the same environment. So it's very
I know, and that's what I've always appreciated about this game too.
The setup is interesting.
It is. I love the dynamic of the townspeople in this small town because it feels very real. I could see that being that's just very real small town drama, I feel like. And I personally feel like that the fans that maybe don't like this game have not appreciated that depth of the game, that is there, that it's not just a quick, easy, just run through, and there's actually a lot more to this game than the surface level of the water. It's really deep, y'all. These puns. But we should talk about going upstairs, since that's also kind of our rotation that we're going.
And that's kind of that's like a catalyst for kind of the stuff that you have to do next.
Yeah, very true. Raise your hand if this game has helped you organize things better because you get to fit books into a small shelf. Every time I played a little to the left, I was like, Danger on Deception Island. It's just...
And I think it's the first time Her Interactive, used that style of puzzle.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's so fun.
Do you like that?
Oh yeah.
Me too. I know it's polarizing. It's so, because I think some people's like, if your brain is not wired to sort things spatially like that, it's like the most agonizing puzzle in existence. I really love it.
I know, I really love it too.
Very satisfying.
I think it's very satisfying. But I've had moments where I was like, why can't I get this one today? You know what I mean? Like, I've been able to like get it in like a snap, and then other days not. But I actually really love it.
Same.
It felt very different from what they had done in prior games, and I appreciate it. Its satisfaction that it gives. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot in that area that kind of like you see it. It's like none of it's relevant in that moment, but it's interesting. Like it's there. And speaking of, because we were talking about world building, I always thought it was really fun that they'd let you look at like microscope slides, like just because. Hey, you want to see what a flea looks like?
Yes.
Was it hair? I can't remember what. There's like 6 raw meat.
I think a butterfly. A butterfly wing, I think, is one of them.
Yeah, so fun.
Very fun. And you know what? I think that part of the game, it was like, oh my gosh, yes, like this is why I loved. Part of the reason why I loved it so much is because it reminded me so much of like the I Spy Computer Lab PC game era, like that right there reminded me of that. I was like, yeah, just for fun education, let you use a microscope and immerse yourself into the world of science for just a bit. You know, love that. Love a good
Yeah.
early 2000s educational. Know thyself. Know
Yeah.
thyself.
I'm a big fan of that.
Me too. I love it so much.
And then of course you also like there's the broken GPS.
Yeah.
Which and the gotta love a good dramatic threatening note. Stop meddling or else.
Or else.
Like
and,
double exclamation point.
And just to throw in there, you can honk the horn, and that's wonderful too. Like, you know, just for fun.
I kind of wish it'd be funny. I wish you could like keep honking it to the point that like
do you annoy Katie?
Makes some sort of like, Nancy, do you really need to keep doing that?
I agree.
Yeah.
I wish they would have done that too.
Fun.
I agree.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
But when you actually finish at the boat area, do you go down the dock to where the kayak is and you find the first message in a bottle, or do you end up leaving?
I think so.
Yeah.
No, I think so.
I think so too. I think when I remember first playing it, that was like one of the first things that once after exploring the boat, I went there, and when I found the message in a bottle, man, I was so excited. I was like, a message in a bottle. I was like, this is it, you know? And then you open it and it's just the random. Is that the one where it's like rosebud? Or is it just numbers?
Yeah. Well,
rosebud, right?
They all have rosebud.
That's right. They all have rosebud.
Numbers.
Yeah.
I think it's just the color of the paper.
That's right. But yeah,
sometimes changes.
And you're like, I was sitting there. I remember having notes and I'm just like rosebud, and I'm like writing it down, you know, you know, like, but we'd obviously, you know, have to find more. But I thought that was very exciting. I'm like, yeah, message in a bottle from who knows where, from who knows who.
Yeah. And then it's off to bike riding, which again, kind of a savage,
sneaky
second chance.
Because
the helmet does sit right there, but not everyone's gonna grab it, and then suddenly, which honestly, I think that second chance is worth it just for the newspaper that you get to read.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that talks about ye old deception zucchini toss and old Pickett Bloomernickel wins again, and he says it was the prune juice. I swear, like what? That's so perfect.
Nothing compares to her interactive second chance newspapers.
Yeah, and I'm like, I want to go to these town events. Like, please, can I watch the zucchini? Can I meet old Pickett? He sounds great.
But were you?
I just picture this old man like checking his zucchini.
Oh my gosh, were you someone that was victimized by this second chance? Like, did you die the first time?
Nah, I'm a goody two shoes. I see the helmet.
You knew to like click and like pick the helmet up.
I think so.
I did not. I just clicked the bike and just went. I had no idea that I had to click the helmet, so definitely died.
You and Arglefumf. I actually do have vivid, it's like a core memory from my childhood of watching Arglefumf walkthrough of this game, and he immediately failed on sandwich making and bike riding. And got so mad.
Yep. Yeah, because it's like you said, it's so sneaky, you know. But yeah, no, bike riding with the helmet, and I'm pretty sure that now I didn't do this before until I think I told you about this, that I was kind of just in the mood to do like playthroughs where I did the opposite of what I normally do. And so I'm pretty sure, because Katie's told you to go visit Holt, that most people are going to the Hot Kettle Cafe, because that's what Katie says, like, oh, you can go bike to the Hot Kettle Cafe. But I actually did do a playthrough where I tried to go to Whale World and the Lighthouse before, and it's very interesting because you can actually go to the Lighthouse and Holt will come, and I think he yells at you before he knows you, if I'm remembering that right.
You know what? I think I did that once and I got away with it. He didn't show up.
Or no, maybe that is what happens. I think
it's that he won't. You can get away with snooping around there.
Yeah.
If you haven't met him
If you
yet.
haven't met him yet. That's right. That's right. And then
Yeah.
actually, Whale World sometimes will have that sign on the door that says
Yeah.
come
Hmm.
back later or something like that. So
Yeah.
that's something different.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
yeah, no, normally I would go to Hot Kettle Cafe.
Yeah. Same.
The Hot Kettle Cafe.
So yeah, I was like, go ahead, please. Please talk about a cozy space.
It really is. It's like one of the coziest locations of the Nancy Drew series. Like I feel like a lot of people just adore this cafe, and for good reason, because it has tons of windows and natural lighting. That's a plus. It also has
Mhm.
this beautiful stained glass, um,
Yeah.
beautiful just brown wood everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just a cozy spot. I always look at it and I think to myself, man, what I would give to have a cup of coffee looking out that like tri window where it's like three windows.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
there's not a bench there, but I could see like just grabbing a book from the bookshelf with a cup of coffee and occasional looking out that three trifold window at the water at the harbor and just wow, what a spot. I would I would probably go there every day if I could. But
Hmm. And I think the sounds, because you can hear like the coffee machines going and like clinking of silverware and the party in the other rooms.
the
So there's
ones
like
that we're
tons.
not invited to.
Yes, tons of like chatter, and it's always interesting. Like you can make out like it's not just like kind of muffled like people just making random noises. Like you can tell however they pulled the sound, like you can make out actual like words, conversation happening. And of course, I know we all love like that girl who's just like she's just extra happy to be at that party.
And there's so funny. So it's I don't know. I think you maybe have seen this story, but if you've never known this before, I was actually watching a Canadian comedy
Oh
show
yes,
and
yes. This is a great story.
I was watching it and it's like a prank show and they have a bunch of like laugh tracks on it. And the laugh track, I literally heard ha 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 ha. And I was like, wait a minute. So I backed it up and then I listened to it again and I was like, absolutely no way. So I pulled the laugh from Danger on Deception Island and then I pulled the laugh from the show and it was the exact same laugh. And then shout out to Hugh because he actually explained it to me that at this time Her Interactive was getting all of their sound effects from a sound library that was based in Canada. And so I was like, oh, Canadian show, Canada sound library. They've been used in other places and I was like, this is weird. It's Nancy Drew out in the wild. So, but I just love that fun fact.
Yeah. And it's interesting. Now this is a little bit different. This is kind of almost more like looking at Danger on Deception Island almost as like a cultural, dare I say, relic.
Oh, I know where
Because
you're going.
when you look at the menu,
And you're like,
um I wish I could only pay $3.25 for your biggest latte.
I mean,
$1.50 for a muffin.
$1.50.
$5.50 for a whole honking bowl of clam chowder. I'm like, oh, how the times have changed.
It's disappointing.
Inflation, what have you
It's
done to us?
disappointing. I know I think when I streamed that game, we talked about that in chat because I was like, man, you're gonna get a small cup of coffee. It's gonna be like at least $5, at least minimum, before you
I
get all the
got
toppings and flavors and all the.
I got a drink the other day that after tax was almost $10.
Ah,
Oof.
oh,
Oof.
yeah, that's right.
That hurts.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's a very cozy place, and
With some interesting characters.
yeah, with some interesting people to meet. Yeah, we have Holt Scotto and Jenna Devlin. Um, yeah, so I believe you can speak to Jenna first because you can ask her about Holt, or you can go directly to Holt. But if you do speak with Jenna,
Yeah.
she'll she'll mention like, yeah, like, well,
And she's
actually,
like, "Hang on, I'll be right with you," or something like that.
right, and then she's
Like,
like, well, I'm actually looking for Holtzgato, and then he's like, what do you want, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. It's interesting how the game like has these situations where like making sure Whale World is closed or whatever. It kind of
Yeah,
make
it's kind
sure
of
that certain things happen in a
a certain
particular.
order. Yeah,
But yeah, Holt, what a guy!
what a guy.
What a character!
What a character is right.
One of the great Nancy Drew grumps.
Tis true. Tis true.
Yeah,
He's very, oh, I can't think of the word that I was going to say. He's very is gritty the word that I was going to use? Very rough. I don't know what word I was thinking of.
gruff. You want
Gruff.
gruff?
That was it. Gruff. See how I think of words and then like I form them together. But yes, he's very gruff, and he actually gives really good insight into the drama. As every time Nancy meets someone, they divulge a little bit more of the drama. And it's interesting to, you literally go to each person and they'll give you a different kind of corner or side, just adding to what everyone's thoughts are on this orca and this problem.
Yeah. And I always love how the introduction to Nancy is so like abrupt. Like he's immediately, you're not one of those save the whale and the heck with everyone else
Crusader types, are you?
are you? Like immediately, like he's on the offense.
Yeah.
And like, well, like I'm sorry, I'm just visiting here, okay? And I do find him like there's one sense in which he's kind of almost like he's a stereotypical like how many stories have like a grumpy guy? Like, and he's exactly that, but he also is genuinely like I feel like especially if you have lived kind of more any kind of like rural or small town life, like everybody
He
knows a
fits.
Holtzgato.
He fits it.
He fits so well. He's a very realistic kind of like everyday Joe, like working class guy who has no interest in like I'm over the political correctness. Like
Mm-hmm.
just let me and my fisherman buddies live our life. Like stay
Yep.
out, like please. And I know so many people like of that kind of like
Oh
yes,
yeah.
that's the way that they would see everything.
Oh yeah. That's why, and again, that's I'm
So
reinforcing
he
like
feels
that's
very real.
yes, that's why I love that town relationship between each person that they pull in, because they do such a good job of painting each type of person
Yes.
and making them different from each other, and
Yeah.
how they believe about certain things. Like it is so real. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a line, since you mentioned that line. He he has another line that makes me laugh really hard. It's the one where Nancy tells him, "Hey, Katie's GPS is broken." He goes, "Oh, now that's a shame." And Nancy's all like, "Well, she seems to think that, well, no, she goes, "Well, now that her GPS is broken, now I can't go kayaking either." And he goes, "Oh, now that really is a shame." Because he just, yeah, that's Soltzgato.
Yes.
But we gotta talk about the fact that when you do meet Holtzgato, he wants you to do his Harbor Master quiz.
Like it's like simultaneously like a scavenger hunt and also a research activity, I feel like. And I actually was thinking about that quiz in the context of like I know Her Interactive like always markets Danger on Deception Island during their like
I was literally I
educational
was about to say
promos.
these things. Yes, yes.
Like they call it one of their top 10 learn and play games
Mm-hmm.
because and the can't even say it. Seamanship quiz is probably one of the best demonstrations I feel like in the game of like a puzzle that is very and we're going to get to many like very learning driven because
Yes.
They're going to force you onto the internet to do all of this research. And yeah.
So no, actually, it's interesting. Okay, so this is actually what I was going to say was that there's a possibility, and this is again just my onion, that there may be players out there that don't find that particular puzzle to be fun. I actually think that has a lot to do with the time that the puzzle was made, because the puzzle was created as a way to show you how to research online. And that's not really something that people need to know anymore, because in the internet is inundated into like everything, and everyone knows how to, like 4-year-olds know how to Google now. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's interesting to me because I wonder if that also, like for the players that may have like a more like negative opinion of this game, I do wonder if that also plays into it. I have thought about that before, because I'm like, this puzzle doesn't hit like it does for what it was created for at the time it was created for.
Yeah.
But well, I still love it because I get all those nostalgic vibes of, oh my gosh, I'm going on the web. I'm going to search the web.
Yeah. I will find actually I love the web searching. I actually find what would generally would cause the quiz to be weaker as a puzzle to me is that because it accomplishes its purpose, it helped me learn things when I played the game as a kid, and I still remember those things. So then like the quiz loses some of its, like, you get that satisfaction of tracking down an answer, because now as an adult I'm going through all these things and I'm like, well, yeah, I still remember, like, you know,
it's $138.
the sun rises in the east, the sun and moon rise in the east and set in the west, and I remember that the Morse code spells out vote for Holt. $138.43. So there's kind of like nothing fresh about it other than when you have to finally go hunt down the crab. Because the crab
changes.
It's never in the same location, like, necessarily. So you have to do a little bit of looking around sometimes to find the crab. But otherwise, like, yeah, there's like so that for me is
no, that makes
like
if
I were gonna be critical of that quiz, like, that's literally all it is. To me, it has weak replay value. But I'm with you. I loved getting on the computer and checking all those websites.
Me too. It just brings me back to a time of simple internet days, you know?
Yeah. Now, since we're on the quiz, I think it's worth going ahead and just talking about, like, the crab.
Yeah.
Because that's another one. I'm curious, was that like a hard challenge for you when you were playing this game? Like, did you because that's one I do remember. I did struggle a bit getting the right kind of crab.
You know, it's interesting because I think it depends on where you get your information on where the crab is male or female, because Colt doesn't tell you, so it's dependent upon you to find it. Well, I had actually already explored the Hot Kettle Cafe, so I saw the postcard, whereas I think other players may have had to, like, look it up on
they saw on the internet, and it's like a cartoon drawing or something.
Exactly. And I feel like the postcard is a better display, like, because, you know, yeah. So I actually had that and I did not struggle with it.
I agree. Now, I do love with the crab. Again, these fun little, if you pick there's value in picking the wrong mistakes. Crab. Because, well, first of all, I think the second chance is hilarious. Like, he'll give you one shot, but I think it's so hilarious. Like, Holt literally, he gets Nancy arrested if she does it twice. Like, this man, he ain't playing.
No jokes.
Like, I don't care that you just showed up in this town today and you're a newbie. Like, you broke the law.
He's crabby.
You gave me the wrong. Isn't it lovely? So the second chance is hilarious. Like, Nancy has an entire conversation with Bess and George about, like, being in jail, and Bess is all
like, you got arrested?
What's that like? And But I think it's what my honestly my favorite thing is that if you put the female crab back, it's the things that Nancy will say as she puts it back.
Yes, like
Like,
the Wizard
be
of
sure
Oz
to write, you
reference.
hear? No, I think that's with
Oh, that's the clam.
but she'll say, be sure to write, you hear? And also say, fight the power, little one.
Yes.
Like she's the most real. Again, the Lonnie Manella like one-liners,
They're
they
so
they
good.
excel in this. Yeah. So that's great. But also, okay, I did want to ask, uh, like, how does Jenna? What do you think of Jenna?
Oh yeah, yeah, Jenna. Yeah, we haven't talked about her.
'Cause she's also
I really
in the
thought
cafe.
genuinely like playing, I always thought she was a pretty cool character. I don't know why, like she gave me cool vibes. I was like, yeah, you know what? Jenna, yeah. I think I would like to know more about Jenna. And as like a character, I find her interesting. And I don't know, there's something about the way that they wrote her dialogue, and I think paired with the way the voice actress voices her, I could just listen. Like I could just, she locks me in. I'm like, yeah, like I want to hear your stories. Like she interests me. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I do find her like very, very dynamic, personable.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I
there's
want to,
and
I want to know more about her family. Like, you know how like the, like,
Yes, because you do
oh,
get those interesting little tidbits about her family, like
mm-hmm,
that the cafe has passed down through the family.
mm-hmm.
And I always love when she talked. My aunt Iris told me, when she gave this cafe to me, talking
Yeah,
to her about like, you're gonna learn so much by eavesdropping. And it's like, yes, please tell me all about the Devlin family.
I know.
Like, yeah, let's get Penvillin. Can we get Penvillin level lore
That's
on
what
the
I'm saying. I
Devlins?
know. I
This
always thought about it, and I was
um,
like, how cool it would be if there was a way that we were able to in the Hot Kettle Cafe, maybe to find like some old Polaroid of her family and ask her about it,
oh, yeah.
tucked away in a book or something, and then she can tell you a little bit more about the story of her family. I do wish that the game would have given us that aspect, because I feel like it was just very surface level, briefly mentioned, but I would have loved to have learned about like maybe her family knew Benjamin Hawkins and like had like dealings with, you know what I mean, like that
Yeah.
in a more in-depth way. So,
And I also find her to be she's also small town realistic, but like in a
mhm.
different kind of way from Holt.
Yes,
Cause you
absolutely.
know that like Jenna kind of has this, like she doesn't verbalize it, but you can tell like she's not impressed with Katie being this like big city girl with a bunch of education, whereas it's kind of implied that Jenna probably was more like probably didn't do as much with schooling. She's probably basically like she's grown up in the area, like she lives her whole life there. She hasn't, been out and experienced all this stuff. So, like, yes, like, and she has these very strong opinions about, like, get the orca with, like, so Holt's all like, just get out of my way, let me fish. And Jenna's very, like, more, we need to make sure the orca like gets with its pod, like take care of the whale. But then also like, yeah, some of the stuff she says about Katie, and I think Nancy like brings it up on the phone at some point with talking to friends. Like, I think Nancy's getting the vibe that like Jenna probably feels a little bit like almost like intimidated by or jealous of Katie,
Yeah,
which I think is
more small
also,
town drama.
yeah, very, very fitting. Like this girl who, yeah, maybe feels a little bit threatened by this like outsider who's got all this knowledge and experience and stuff like that. And yeah, and then of course, she's so generous.
I know. Oh,
Free food.
every time we come in, it's a whole bowl of clam chowder or the blueberry
Yeah.
muffin if you
Like, girl,
remember
how much
to
business
actually
did you
ask for
lose
it.
if Nancy's really hungry that day?
But yeah, yeah, no, I think out of a lot of the games that had food, hers always looks like a delight. That haunted carousel food ain't no good, but this food right here, this looked really real and good. Hmm. The
Yeah.
haunted carousel
Yeah.
pasta, the undercooked pasta, but that blueberry muffin with that little pat of butter,
Does.
whew, Woo! So good.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I know the cafe. It's interesting. Like they have all these. Like the cafe is just interesting how you go in there and there's like all this other stuff in there that they're kind of just. It's like they're just setting you up for a bunch of like domino effect of like things are gonna start happening, and then like
Yes.
all these things are gonna become relevant. Like the signal flags and the alphabet in there, and you see these panels on the wall. Like what are those about? And um the Atlantic herring postcard that's in there. Even Caddy. We can't overlook Caddy.
No.
He's
Lizard
important.
Skin.
Yeah. Yes. He's
Written
our
by
favorite.
Lizard Skin.
Yes, our favorite sea monster. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fun. But then of course, I'm assuming at this point, probably we both go ahead and go on to Whale World. Because I think Jenna's the one that finally tells you, like she'll give you the info about Andy.
Andy, yeah.
So and I think that's what finally means you can go down there. So
I think I may have just taken off and done Holt's quiz, but
oh, that
I've maybe have also played where I've gone to Andy. I don't know. I think I change it up every
yeah.
time.
Yeah. Well, I suppose you end up at Andy's either way because he's
Oh,
got the
true.
clam. He's got the clam fine.
This is true.
So,
But yeah, no,
man,
Andy.
I don't know. It's
Whale
like,
World.
yeah, we might as well talk. Well, yeah, it's like, okay, what do we talk about? Do we talk about Andy first or Whale World? I feel like we should talk about Andy
Yeah,
first because
right.
like Whale World is just
Oh,
so much going on in there.
yeah, but no, Andy.
Andy Jason.
Overly friendly. Mm-hmm.
He does give off he definitely gives off the salesman vibes. Like
Absolutely. It's
slimy
my
salesman
mission
vibes.
to make sure that everyone leaves with a greater appreciation for marine life. And I'm like, okay.
Andy is among us, audience, listeners. Wow.
uh no.
Uh,
But like, yeah, no, he puts too much on Nancy on that first meet. And because he's everything he said. Everybody in this town has something to say about everybody in this town but him. And that's where the suspicion started growing. Because everybody's his friend.
okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he was all like, well, Katie's my friend. And I'm like, is she? Is she your friend?
I can't remember. I can't remember honestly what I thought of him in first playing the game. I think I was just taking it all in. And it was like, okay, here's the guy who runs Whale World, and he really wants Katie's boat business, because she's hurting his bottom line, and and then of course he wants the orca to be left alone.
Yeah.
But then of course in hindsight, I love this. Like you see that ship in the bottle, and I made sure to like inspect it like right away this time around when I
Oh,
like
yeah?
replayed the game most recently. And then of course, like I love, then you can ask him about it and he'll tell you like it's from Benjamin Hawkins,
Yes.
which I want to go ahead and mention, because one thing that I really love about this game is I think they do such a good job. I love the breadcrumbs. I think they just sprinkle them with such a nice touch all over this game, because he mentions this Benjamin Hawkins guy, and he'll tell you like, oh yeah, people think he was a pirate, but he was probably just a farmer. And he mentions, he bought it from some lady who went bonkers after her husband died. So then you're like, oh, okay, which might be your first, inkling of another character that we'll talk about soon.
Yeah.
But I also love that this is going back to the beginning of the game. If you look at Katie's calendar, Katie has Benjamin Hawkins written on her calendar and circled. And I love that the game at all points is making sure to always keep Andy and Katie like linked together somehow. They are pretty sure they're the only two people in the game who will tell you something about Benjamin Hawkins, which is significant. And then, of course, there's the connection of they both run the same kind of business. So I I just love that. And even he'll I think he also gives like the info about like, yeah, this guy was like mid 1800s, which if you've talked to like Jenna, I think you've already found, you're like, oh, okay, so like all these things are lining up. Like the Hot Kettle Cafe started like in the mid 1800s, and here's this like, and like as a player you're not really putting all those pieces together, but like they're all
They're
there.
there.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I just
Just
I just
dropping it in your
really,
subconscious.
yes, and then I'm like, ow, ow. It all makes
Ow!
sense now.
Ow!
Oh, yeah. And even, well, this is mentioning, this is jumping over to Katie. Like Katie, at some point, will tell you that Benjamin Hawkins like lived where the lighthouse is, which that
Mm,
becomes significant too because of stuff that's over there. But anyway, yeah, Andy,
there were some vibes
you
there.
know, yeah, he's definitely one of those, like he's just like, he's just nice guy. That's it. I'm like, okay, you want my business, whatever. you and your flannel shirt.
Tucked
You
into
don't
your
impress me.
khakis. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
No, yeah, no. I definitely I did get those vibes from him when I first met him. So, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
And then after we talked to him, I did kind of like look in that lobby area, like at the boat, like what you were saying. Um, and just looked at stuff, just looked at the
Yeah.
uh
I love the
caddy
souvenirs.
skeleton thing.
I love the souvenir table. Like it
Yeah.
actually gives me like memories of being a kid, and my mom would take us to the aquarium and they had this gift shop in there.
Yeah.
And she'd
No.
usually let us buy something while we were in there. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no.
yeah.
And honestly, the whale world aesthetic is just so good. I know we haven't actually gotten to that portion yet, but you can see it from the lobby, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think like honestly, I don't think there's anything much to do in the lobby other than get yelled at if you try and touch the skeleton. Miss,
Miss,
please don't
please don't
touch
touch that.
that.
Etched,
Fine.
etched in the brain.
Fine.
And he
Yeah.
just says it over and over and over.
I honestly like love, even just like design wise, how they set it up. There's like this little like teeny little like hallway you got to walk
Little
through.
arch.
Yes, the arch, and then woo, you're in whale world.
And
Be
it's
still
the
my heart.
best ever
It's
because
probably my favorite Nancy Drew museum.
oh, it's just the best. And I love to actually in the arch because I wanted to mention this. That I know this is very random, but I want to talk about all the things that I possibly can talk about. The tiling that they chose for Whale World that sits on that archway, it's wonderful. It's got teal, blue, white, and some other kind of blue green tiles, and I'm like, oh, aqua, like water, Whale World. It's so good. Yeah. So, and then yeah, like what you said, you literally walk in and you're like, whoa, it's like stinking Smithsonian Museum got a whale hanging from the
Yeah, and it's laid
ceiling.
out very expansively, almost
Mm.
like it's, yeah, expansive like the ocean.
Yeah.
It's a solid layout. Yes, those big like skeleton and the figurines everywhere.
So good.
Oh my goodness.
Kid
And
me
like,
was just there forever.
yes. And that they absolutely like, they were tapping into like every, I know like every, I don't know, I hope that the children of today are still having this experience, but I know that pretty much like every 90s 2000s kid, like at some point they got very invested in like marine life. And
Right.
some of us did and still do want to be marine biologists when we grow up.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, I told you this. I was like, I don't know what was going on from 2003 to 2005, but they came out with marine biologists aesthetic for in this game, and then it was horse person aesthetic in the next game, and then it was like England, dark academia, Harry Potter aesthetic. And that was the trifecta right there. That was the ultimate like
Yeah.
because I don't think there was a carousel aesthetic.
Yeah.
No, yeah, this was the aesthetic.
Yeah, but I will say again, kind of like, and you've kind of been hitting on some points of like, depending on what you think of like this thing, it's probably going to shape the way you think of this game.
Yeah.
And this is I have a suspicion that Whale World's probably another area where that really comes into play, because again, like the education element, like whoosh, skyrockets. Pretty much, not all of them, but almost every puzzle in there has an educational component to it. And one of them in particular, again, another quiz. Like, they are presuming one of two things. Either you're just going to keep guessing until you get enough right to beat the game, or you're going to be the diligent reader. You're going to go around and read all the exhibits, which again, that's me. I love to read all the things. I still do. I'll read everything.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. I think if you're not a museum person, like Secret of the Scarlet
Hand,
Shadow, Scarlet, Water's Edge, Ranch. It's too much. Anyways, but yeah, like if you're not someone that's gonna want to like actually read plaques and look at things, yeah, it's probably not gonna like this portion of the game.
Yeah. Now, but again, I want to shout them out. Like, I'm just going to keep this whole episode. I'm going to be shouting out like breadcrumb, breadcrumb. Here's a breadcrumb. This one, again, you wouldn't know it till you play the game. There's that very specific plaque.
Pacific?
Like card.
Got it.
That mentions, talks about the military will sometimes use orcas to retrieve things in deep water. That's interesting. By the way, you don't know it yet. It's highly relevant to how this story works.
You gotta read stuff in the next Drew games, because you're gonna miss what they trying to tell you.
Yes. But anyway, I would love to talk to you about like the mini games.
I love the mini games.
Does any like? Do you have like a particular one that stands out, or is it just like?
You know, the one that really sticks out the most is the whale sounds ones, because if you get it wrong, you'll start over. And there's one whale sound that takes like, it's like the one that has like the 3 lines, so it takes really long to actually sit there through it. So if you get one wrong, you're actually sitting there through a long like it just sits there for the longest time.
Oh my goodness.
That's the one that sticks out to me.
Yes, you know what? And it's funny because when I replayed this game last time, I hit the wrong button. Like I hit something wrong, and so I had to listen to exactly that sound effect all over again. I was like, "Oh my word. Where's my skip button?"
Yeah, wasn't invented yet.
Yes, and so I can just hear the woo, 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 like Dory,
yes,
get your heart out.
Yes, I know, and I don't know why. There's also that one whale that sounds like and I always think about that one every time. Yeah, I always think about it every time I play that game.
Okay. Can I need like a specially coded version of Danger on Deception Island? I need like to just plug in like Carter audio on all the whale sounds.
I have played the game so much that I'm pretty sure that I could probably repeat them all to you.
People, I need you to know there are actual tears in my eyes.
But yeah, no, the mini games are fun, and you know which one I have incredible beef with? It's actually the one where you have to throw the krills to.
Oh, Feeding Frenzy.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think
whack-a-mole.
Now maybe it's a me problem, but I don't think you can actually get every whale, and that
Carter, I feel the same way. I needed to talk to you about this. I think it's coded for failure.
Yeah, it is, because some come up and I clicked.
Yes.
And you did not get fed, but yes. I clicked.
Okay, I played the game like 3 or 4 times. I couldn't get higher than a 21. I was on top of those orca whales. Like, honestly, the score doesn't matter. I was on top of it.
But I'm trying to think, what's the highest you can get scored?
Probably 25. I just know for a fact that I was doing it right and the game was not accepting it. And I was mad. I was
challenge for everybody in the comments.
They coded this. Yes, everyone, please open up your copy of Danger on Deception Island. Go play Feeding Frenzy many, many times. Like, please report back on what kind of score you were able to get. Because
I need to know.
You know what? Which also, you know what? Wouldn't that be just like Andy Jason though? This guy purposefully probably like setting up his game so you can't get a perfect score.
Yeah, I think so.
I believe it of him.
Little stinker. Little crab. Little crab.
You know what? I feel like the utmost like kinship with you right now, knowing that you two get angry at that game.
Because I wanna see if I can get the perfect score. And I've tried every time, and it's like 2 whales in the back, and they're side by side, and you click one and it gets fed, but the other one it just whatever. Yeah, the other 2 mini games they're fine. There's I don't know.
Yeah, there's the swimming like never. What? Let's shout out these puns. Never a dull moment. Which actually, you may think they're fine. I personally have beef with the never a dull moment, which is the swimming one. Where you're trying to stay alive because for funsies, I played on hard mode.
That's impossible.
Again, Andy, you're mean. You want the children to fail. I don't trust you, sir. Because there were multiple times on the hard mode, the game was forcing me to die. It was literally setting up an impossible scenario where there's like a giant squid up here and an orca like right underneath. I'm like, I literally can't get anywhere without touching one of these things. I have to die.
Not to mention,
and I was so mad.
There's also
so mad.
Torpedoes or like minesweepers or something.
Yeah, like mines. Yes.
Like,
oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, that one honestly, if you play on easy, well, it's fine. But hard, I always resent it when a game is like forcing me to fail.
Yeah,
I resent that.
Yeah, and then there's the quiz. Yeah. And you get
I think the quiz is fun.
Yeah, I like the quiz's sound effects when you get it right. It has that like little sparkle thing.
I personally am a fan of some of the multiple choice answers.
Oh, absolutely.
For example, like when he asks like why the military uses orcas and dolphins, and one of the choices is that they're fond of being bossed around. Or like why are they called killer whales? Their markings make them look handsome. Yes, that's a real killer whale.
Yeah,
like,
no, yeah.
I do appreciate that. That quiz is honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that quiz is kind of intense. Like when you're first doing it, because I'm like, wait, I mean, I know I must have read about that, but I read a lot of things in this room. Yeah. You expect me to remember?
My mom had to help me with that one.
Some of the questions are kind of intense.
I played all the other mini games, but no, my mom had to help me with that.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah. Okay, can we now though? I need you to like tell the whole world.
I knew you were going to ask me about this.
I need you to tell the whole world your story of spinning the wheel and getting a prize.
Okay.
Please.
Well,
because yes, obviously you're going around, you're punching your card, win all the games, spin for your prize. Carter has a story.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
So,
I don't know what to make of it.
Apparently, and this is a very vivid memory somewhere deep in my brain. I did the mini games. I took the card, I put it in the wheel, I spun the wheel. And I did not land on whale watching tour. I think I won a t-shirt. That was that I won the t-shirt. Like, that was what I remembered to be correct. But to all of you listening that have played the game, you know that is never a possibility that ever happens. You only get whale watching tour. And somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody actually had messaged me and was like, hey, so I heard you won like a whale watching tour. You won like a Whale World t-shirt one time in Danger on Deception Island. What about that story? And I was like, what? How did you know? And they were like, oh, Tori was telling me about it. And I actually, we actually talked about it, and they were like, maybe like you won the whale watching tour, but it slows down right there at t-shirt, and you probably were like, I want a t-shirt, and then like ran off. Because I did. I think I actually ran off to go tell my mom or something, and then came back.
Oh.
And the tour, like, yeah, so it was already like stepped away and gone. I think that's what ended up happening. But for the longest time, I thought there was at least one playthrough where I won a t-shirt, like a Whale World t-shirt, and was convinced. I was like, maybe one day I'll get it again. Maybe one day I'll play this again and get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Honestly, can we really blame like 6-year-old Carter for getting up in excitement and running off and like, Mom, I won a t-shirt. Like, come on.
It was a very exciting time for me.
That's the most wholesome thing.
Thank you.
Now, I really do think, because I do watch it, like it's a total fake out. It really does stop just long enough that, yeah. I think that's a very plausible explanation for what happened. But actually getting a whale watching tour, I'm curious, like, do you like that whole little cutscene sequence where you go out on the boat and they like all the pictures and things, like how do you enjoy that moment?
Absolutely.
Wish there was more to it.
I definitely wish there was more to it, but it was definitely actually, no, what I wish is that you could keep going on the whale watching tour with more pictures. That's what I wish. Like, you could keep like coming back to Andy or something.
That to me is like, what's there is great. I just want more.
Yeah. But I thought I loved it, because, to be able to, I guess, go on an actual like touristy kind of activity in the Nancy Drew games it's great.
Yes. Well, and it's funny, my brain just pinged off to, again, I feel it's like, oh my word, that the Nancy like dialogue seared in my brain, because I can, in my head right now, I can hear Lonnie Manella, like her voice is almost going out the stratosphere. Like, I want a free whale watching tour. All right. Like just
the music starts playing.
It's and the reason why I wanted to bring it up now is like the victory music. Does this game like? And I know we addressed this in our Kevin Manthe episode, but I still think it's just worth mentioning again. Like, this game is constantly like affirming me and like making me feel so like pumped up. Like, you're great. Like, because every time you solve some sort of like puzzle of some sort, you get one of those victory tracks, and I think it's so like delightful. You just ride the high the whole game, like, oh yeah, I did it. I did another one. So yes, I can hear like that flute like
I agree
in my head while Nancy's all like to Andy. So yes, very fun. And, again, clever. That's a purposeful plot point, because it'll become significant later, so that you can honestly, no, we'll have to talk about that when we get there, because I actually really love that whole exchange. I think it's one of Nancy's like finest manipulative moments. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. We kind of have one other, I mean, should we go ahead and talk about, like, do you remember what you do at this point? Like, are we swinging all the way over to the lighthouse?
Oh, for
are
me,
going out on the water?
I know that, like, for me, when I got Holt's quiz, I totally bypassed the researching part and went straight for the crab. That was like the first thing I went to go do. I think because I knew that I was like on the hunt for something. I'm always down for a scavenger hunt. And so I was like, oh, gotta go find the crab, you know? So I think I did
Yeah.
go to the lighthouse, but I mean, if you want to talk about the quiz before the lighthouse, I'm down for whatever.
Well, I mean, I think we've kind of said what needs to be said about the quiz.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
put on your thinking caps. The lighthouse again, that's another great ambient space. And you yourself have made a very lovely like ambience video in the
Thank you.
lighthouse area. Like I just love showing up and immediately you just hear like the seagulls
Mm.
in the waves. But then of course, then there's this very dramatic walk up, two dead fish. That's killing my vibe a bit.
Yes, this is true.
Yes, and again, okay, breadcrumbs, people. I love it. But this is actually one. Like the dead fish. That was actually a clue that kind of like I missed some of the triggers with it. Um, for a while, and I think it's because I had not. It's kind of like the order that you have to do things in, or something, or like if you don't
Yep.
look at the postcard in the cafe, or like I think it's that you have to look at the postcard again, because then that's how like Nancy starts putting. I was like, well, wait, these fish look like Atlantic herring, and then you can go like ask Holt about it, and he'll insist like, no, I think you got Pacific herring. Atlantic are only in the Atlantic Ocean. But then he gives you that detail about like they'll sell them to aquariums for feeding the animals. Like I love all that. Like I love that there's like a whole like line of clues that you can pursue just off those two dead fish in the water.
Which I feel like a lot of people
Washed up on
miss.
shore.
I feel like a lot
Yes.
of people miss
I
that.
did. It's very easy to miss.
Right?
Yes. And then skipping rocks. Which is another one of those, like, I feel like her interactive in this period, they were very obsessed with, like, from Secret of the Scarlet Hand through, like, Secret of Shadow Ranch. Like, let's do all the random, like, you have to get the power and the angle just right.
Yes.
In a puzzle, and good luck.
Yup. Yep. They had it in Secret of Scarlet Hand, I feel like, too, with the
Yes.
ball
I was
throwing
thinking
one.
that dreaded game. Squid toss.
Squid toss, yes.
Yes, and then I know Shadow Ranch does it. I'm sure we'll talk about it next week with the dislodging the key.
I actually this is like just a random quirk that I do when I play this game, but I actually don't get 3 rocks at a time. I know you can. I only pick up one because I don't like having extra rocks in my inventory if I happen to get it right on the first try.
Yeah.
It's just a random quirk.
Oh, that's interesting. Now, and I find it's like at this point, because you get, well, like a whole bunch of things happen on the beach, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, well, we can just, yes. I want to talk about the bottle though, because I think it was at like this point in my game because of that, because at this point, I think I would usually have, I think like every bottle you can find except like, I know the 2 like out kayaking. So like you have 2, so you get another one. And it was at this point that like the game let me have a conversation with Jenna about like, why do I keep finding who's leaving these bottles? And then Jenna gives you the scoop on Hilda Swenson.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we will have much more to say about like Hilda, like once we actually like get to meet her in the game. But this whole like, yeah, she went crazy after her husband died. Now she's a hermit. But I love this detail. And this is one of those things, like, again, would never have picked up on this until I was like playing the games older. Okay, you already mentioned like Rosebud. Okay, So Jenna has made this comment like Hilda Swenson used to work. She's ex Hollywood writer producer. She's a Hollywood gal. Rosebud. And this was something I did not learn until later when I went through this kick of like I was watching a bunch of stuff on Turner Classic Movies. And I finally saw the movie Citizen Kane for the first time, which is a really I don't even know how old that film is now, but I just know like it's considered by many like film buffs to be a lot of people will tell you like it's the greatest film ever made. And something in Citizen Kane is I won't give it away in case people ever want to watch the movie because it's like a significant plot point. But like the guy in Citizen Kane, kind of the thing that sparks the whole story, is he whispered the word Rosebud before he died.
Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
The whole rest of the movie is trying to figure out what the significance of Rosebud meant. And so I think that's
Ah.
so clever that, and I'd be curious if like probably kids not so much like they wouldn't pick up on the connection, but I do wonder if any like parents perhaps playing Danger on Deception Island with their kid or whatever if they put the puzzle pieces together like Rosebud ex Hollywood writer producer like that she's not just being like crazy, like saying Rosebud is very purposeful, like she's making a very like that's not someone who's yeah, I
I
don't
love
know.
that. I did not know
So
that at all.
yeah, so I that's like one of my favorite details now about this game is that like even
Oh.
just right there, like Hilda's choice of word was clearly like symbolic and intentional. Like she's choosing like a mysterious word from the greatest movie ever made, and like you know the person in the movie like it's basically one giant like solve the mystery, what did this word mean, like it's not yeah anyway I'm simplifying it a lot, but I just think that's so fun that you can put all those pieces together like
I love that. No, I did not know that at all.
yeah yeah and like good job her interactive like making sure that they made that like yeah she's a Hollywood girl, so I'm sure she knows all about Citizen Kane. And I remember also too at this point, like I was able to talk to Holt about Hilda, and he talks about her like, yeah, this lady in her 60s, like just hauling nets for me on the boat for the sheer love of adventure. And so like I love that already you're starting to get this like very fun picture painted of her. You know, and I know we'll have much more to say, but it's like I just gotta bring that up now because like when I played the game,
That
that's kind
was
of
kind
like
of the
this
order.
it was kind of like started unlocking all these things. But yes, now you brought up the wood. Oh my goodness, the wood. The wood triggers
The
so
thing.
many things.
Yeah, and it triggers a lot of like phone conversations that you get to have with some
Phone
of
conversations and trauma.
with some of like probably my one of my favorite phone characters ever to ever exist. But yeah, no, Nancy picks up the SS piece of wood and immediately I was very excited because I was like, oh, another clue, like another thing to pick up and take with us, you know? Um, but I don't know if you actually went ahead and took the like the piece with you or like back to the boat or like what did you do with it?
I mean, I think at this point, just because I was in the area, I went ahead and continued exploring, like
To the
went
lighthouse.
up to the lighthouse and then officially got yelled at by Holt Scotto. It means you, girly.
Girly?
Yeah. So, um,
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. Because
So,
actually, no, I
yeah.
did the same. But I think that after he came, I think I went. Did I go back? No, because you actually have to talk to him first before you go back. I was gonna say because I know that I definitely got the lighthouse second chance when I first played.
Yeah, that happens.
When you come back.
I think for me, it triggered like the second time I went up there. Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
that one is again they're savage because kind of your natural instinct is to click on the rock piece to
Like,
inspect it
what's this?
further, and that's what gets you conked on the head. Like you're supposed to look up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I love that. Actually, I didn't know. Did you know it too at the lighthouse? Which I didn't know this until somebody pointed out that there was the Scarlet Hand on there.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those, I think my brain always like saw it but didn't really process it. And then I think you posted about it at some point and I
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah.
I was like, I had no
Yeah.
idea.
Which is
But no, yeah, the also the lighthouse has that lovely ping, ping, ping.
it's not just lovely, it's an important detail.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. Um
Where have
and
I
but
heard that before?
yeah. Now I actually I did notice something that I think is kind of curious because it's one of those like the whole getting beamed by a chunk of lighthouse. They leave that very up in the air. They never like give an explanation for whether that was purely accident because the place is super old or intentional, like someone was trying to cause harm. But I'm pretty sure I noticed like when I was replaying that it comes from the direction of like the actual like lighthouse area. I was like, that makes me real nervous because of things that are discovered later.
It's my mission.
Yeah. I was like, that makes me real concerned someone was up there and saw Nancy and just gave a little push to some
I'm,
old rock.
I'm telling you, I would love to. You know how read the Trail of the Twister book, the one that's based off of. I want to read the one that this one's based off of. I'd be very
Yes, that
curious
would
to
be
know.
that'd be a fun project. But yes, anyway,
I bet I'm saying
I
I
mean,
bet they have that in the book. I bet there was someone at the
yes,
top of the lighthouse.
yeah. Honestly, I think Carter at this point, like it's worth. We got to go all in on this wood.
Oh yeah, you're
Would
right.
you believe the number of things that happen because of this one piece of driftwood?
No, not at all. And we definitely
And you
barked up
already
the wrong tree
mentioned, like, yeah,
because let me tell you because when we sit at that microscope and we get well, once you find the number from the book and everything, and then and then you call and you ask for if you can get a wood sample. Yeah, just put it up to
yes.
the phone and I'll take a reading of it.
Honestly, I think we need to back up just a
Oh,
smidge. You already
oh,
alluded to him, like, why do we got to know what the wood is? Because of our guy Casey Porterfield. Because
yeah,
you
I
gotta
forgot.
call him and he'll be like, what kind of wood is it?
And that's
You
and
know,
that's
and
where you have to get the wood. That's
Nancy
right.
gives the dumbest answer and he's like, you're about as much use as a beanie in a hurricane.
Yeah, sorry, I got the order mixed up, but
Yeah,
yes,
calling us out on our ignorance. Like,
yes.
let's just pause for a moment and celebrate. I mean, I don't know when we're gonna have the conversation. I mean, phone conversations in this game, just in general, are
Our
top tier.
masterpieces. Yes.
But yes, like Casey Porterfield. Um, I think I said this like on your Haunted Carousel live stream. Like Tink walked so Casey Porterfield could run. Like
Yes.
this man is so it's amazing to me how just with some good dialogue and good voice acting, you can bring a whole person to life.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And
Like,
he
do we not love this man?
and I absolutely love it too, because when Nancy ends the call, she's like, "Oh, I hope he doesn't operate heavy machinery."
Yes. Yes, and the constant like, um acting like I have no idea what you're talking about, never and then he'll like say the thing and yes, like just the total inability to listen. I think this is later in the game where he's like, sorry, I'm waiting for a real important phone call from Nancy Drew and she's like, but it's Nancy Drew and and it's so
The
hilarious. But
personality is
yes, like
perfect. Perfect, perfect.
he is yes. Like he's one that I would be very happy to like meet him in real life, but even just as a phone character, to me, he's he's as dynamic as any of the other people like you can actually like see and talk to
Oh yeah.
in
Well,
the
and we
game.
talked about earlier when we first started the episode about like the world building. The phone
Yes.
characters also really help with that, I feel.
Yes. Yeah. Um, we will. Yes, I do want to. It's like I really wanted to talk to you about that, but it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's like what we. Let's like tuck it away. It's like so easy with these games. Like Carter and I, even just so you all know, we like had no idea how to organize this episode. So you know, honestly, I kind of like it. I kind of feel like we're living our best caddy life. We're just like
Yeah.
snaking. We're just like snaking all over to whatever we need to talk about. But
It's
yes,
wonderful.
anyway. But yes, then we can get to okay, yes, the wood. You got to get the wood sample. Yes. Hold it up to the phone and I'll take a reading.
It's just such a good line. Oh man, it's such a good
Yes.
line.
Oh my
But
goodness.
though
Yeah.
there's that
That's
whole
funny. The puzzle's not funny. She's funny.
she's funny. Now, I know a lot of people really have been traumatized by that. Really actually I didn't know I didn't know how traumatized people actually were until I posted, I'm about to look at it right now. I posted this reel that says Nancy Drew Games made me an overthinker.
You made that real because of me.
Did I?
I remember that.
I don't remember.
Yes. I was whining about this puzzle on
That's
someone's
true. It says
DDI
Liv is
stream.
streaming DDI live right now, and
Yeah.
Tori confessed her
Yeah.
dislike for the wood sample. Thus,
Yeah.
this reel was a reality. Yes. So I made this, and I was like, "Oh, this would make such a funny reel," and I didn't realize that how strongly people
Can you
actually.
pull all the clue crew out of the woodwork?
For that one, you will have to um do three
Don't.
three
Don't.
wood samples
Quiet.
for that one.
No.
No,
No.
but no,
You
but
wound me.
this reel got sent 206 times to people. That's a lot. That's a
And
lot.
you know what? I'm just picturing probably the conversations that were being had in DMs
That's
of
what.
then people.
Yes, the people
Yes,
were
people
like,
reliving their trauma, like, oh my gosh, yeah, this puzzle ruined me.
"Is it brown or brown reddish?"
Ugh. Okay, yes, okay, there's two. I hate that's the one. That's the question that
That's
always threw me off.
me too.
No, that wood's not brown reddish. You lie. That's brown. You lie. That's like you lie,
No,
Pradavichu.
it looks brown reddish.
Not to me, it doesn't. You know what's brown reddish is Hot Kel Cafe wood.
That is a different type of brown reddish.
You know what? Fine. You know, it's
See,
fine.
no, but no, I understand though,
I'll-
because that's what I actually hate about the puzzle is that technically this is not very objective because
No, it's not.
this is very subjective. I
Let
actually
me
it
go
was
look at my sample. It doesn't help.
no, it wasn't just that, but for me it was also the holes.
See, that's what I was going to bring up. I
That
know a
one
lot
bugged
of
me
people.
too.
The holes, interestingly, never threw me off.
Really?
Never once did I question. Like, well, okay, yeah, they are. They might be really, really tiny. Because, like, to me, it was like I just interpreted it as, what am I seeing right now? I'm seeing very big holes, and I didn't think anything about the fact that it being under a microscope might somehow change it.
Yeah, that was my
To me,
my
it was just it
thoughts.
was the color. The color caused my trauma.
I get it. I really do. I get it because I yeah, that one's but see the thing is that a lot of people don't know this. I don't feel like they do. Wait, no, they would have to know this because you'd have to get it wrong. But why do I feel like I've had many conversations where people didn't know this that Pardavici will send you a puzzle to do to be able to get another reading. It's the slider puzzle.
Yes.
She'll email it to you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I actually did, just for funsies, I purposefully failed this puzzle, so I would have to do the slider. And I think a lot of people are under the impression that it's a game-breaking moment to fail the wood puzzle a second time after you've done the slider, because like she won't pick up the phone again. I'm here to tell everyone, don't panic. If you fail twice, if you like fail, do the slider puzzle, fail again, and she stops picking up the phone,
Which has happened to me
hope is
before.
not lost. Go to the laptop and just solve the puzzle again. It worked.
I
Like I was then she picked up the phone for me because I actually did want to know. I was like, does this genuinely break the game? It's like, no, it doesn't. It's just I guess you're just left to assume that you're supposed to go solve the puzzle again.
I didn't
So
know
there you
that.
go. So fret not. Fret not. Apparently it sounds like you probably get infinite chances to mess up.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, after you get through the trauma of that puzzle and you finally get the answer, then you are able to kind of like progress forward and call Casey back.
Yes. And yeah, this is when you get this first mention of like the ship went down in the channel and the location puts it near the sea caves. That's an important detail. Breadcrumb, breadcrumb. And also it's been mentioned already in the game at some point that the orca loves to hang out around the sea caves area. Like if you pinpoint where they're describing the orca tends to be, like again, they're throwing it all out there of like how this works. But yeah. And then this is where you get also the first mention of like might have been smuggling something. And then that like article pops up on the laptop about smuggling. And again, breadcrumb, like it mentions that like endangered animal pelts are a popular item for smuggling. So, yes. And then yeah, I know it's kind of all in here like people kind of tend to do off like there's all sorts of things you can do at this point. Like once Casey tells you, hey, like I'll get back to you on this. But then he also mentions like I just got done emailing you something, which then sets up like he sends that because he's a stained glass freak. They finally give you the info you need like about the Royal Flush Saloon. So yeah, it's just like it's interesting how many things kind of like happen after the wood puzzle. So I feel like it's kind of at this point like things can go in a lot of different directions. So I curious generally at this point though, like I'm ready to go kayaking because it's like the one thing like that
that's kind of
hasn't happened. Probably hasn't happened yet if you've been like doing all of these other things. So yes,
kayaking. It's so
very pleasant.
Yeah, relaxing. Yeah. And
yeah, I appreciate those like transition screens.
Yeah.
And you can either just like let them play out or you can like double click and kind of skip through them. So they kind of give you the option of like how quickly you want to move around.
Oh yeah. And I will say though, when I did first play this game, I definitely struggled with the kayaking because I couldn't particularly like depth perception of like how far I could like actually click before it was past the channel markers, and I definitely went past the channel markers multiple times. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if I ever did or not. I think I definitely did more so because sometimes, especially I think specifically the ones that like were like they had like the arrows on them. I think sometimes I misunderstood like what the arrows were telling me to do or not do, and so I clicked the wrong way, and then suddenly yes, like poof, newspaper on the screen, like whoopsie, I got lost at sea.
No, really, but I actually don't think that I had found all the bottles yet. I think I only had 2 or 3 because I know you find another one while you're kayaking, and then I think you find the last one in the sea caves.
Find 2 kayaking technically, yeah, because one is
one on the beach, one in the sea caves, one sitting there at the
because
kayak.
There's one right next to the kayak, and then there's one in the water, like when you're out kayaking. There's just a random one out in the water.
Yes.
And then there's the one in the cave. So you could technically, usually when I'm playing this game, I usually find the last 2 bottles like
here at this
in quick succession.
Yes, I agree because I think I did visit the sea caves first. Yeah, because obviously, because you have to find
like the one thing on the GPS,
right?
Yeah, and that was kind of like the big deal, like
oh,
we're here to visit sea caves.
Oh yeah, no, and the
Yeah.
sea caves were fun. Like kind of a little. Like I remember as a kid, I was a little freaked out because it was just kind of that. It was dark and you had like the dripping sound effect and
Oh yeah.
the water rushing, and I just was like, ugh, I want to get out of this, But
We should also mention. I'm assuming now. Were you responsible? Did you always put your life jacket on?
oh yes, actually I did, but that's
That one you
because
did do?
I made the mistake of the helmet, so then I knew I was like, oh, I must have to actually put the life
Ah,
jacket
okay.
on.
Yeah, because that's the other second chance. But
Mm.
yeah, so it's at this point I would say, if you got all four bottles, then
Then you can
finally
finally
you get
do
to
it.
plug the coordinates. And doesn't Nancy, I think, actually make a comment like these
She
look like
does.
coordinates?
She
Yeah, which
does.
is a great. I always think those are great little like those verbal cues, very
Hmm.
helpful, especially to like the younger player. Like, ah, okay, use
Agree.
your GPS. And we talked at length in our season 1 Golden Era episode about how much this game pushed like GPS as a new technology. So y'all can listen to that episode if you want to hear Carter and I talk more about like the significance of a
The
GPS
technology
being in this
changes.
game.
Yes.
But you know what I always appreciated? I appreciate that you can sit out on the water and plug your coordinates in. Like it's not one of those situations where it's like you don't have a signal to do this right now. Like
Shadow
you need to
Ranch.
go. You need to go back on land. Like yes, thank you. Yes, I can sit right here, plug my coordinates in, and then we get
I've
led
never
to
been to this beach before.
yeah, the secret beach, which yes, I know you. There's so many like fun and also a puzzle element, but the beach, that beach is great.
It
So
is.
many fun things.
I of course, freaked out as a 6-year-old about like, oh my gosh, I get to make sandcastles, like I thought that was the best thing in the world. And even as an adult, it's still the best thing in the world.
Well, can we just talk about? And I know you and I have talked about this in private before. Like that's amazing. But like, it's not a puzzle. It's there just purely. And to my knowledge, I mean, I don't think you get some sort of like reward at the award at the end of the game for like building tons of sandcastles. But they just, Nancy makes it. I could use a break. Like that's all it's there for. You want to build a sandcastle? Like have fun.
Don't we need that more in
And,
life,
and you can build some really honestly, you can pull off some really fancy designs.
I know. Do you remember that one that I showed you that someone did? And I was like, how did they even build this with this limited stuff? And it was like this massive looking castle. Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
Actually, no, this is something that maybe I want to mention here since we just brought it up, but I particularly love how this game forces you to slow down multiple times. Like the game
Oh.
is set in a way that it's not supposed to be a rush. And I think that is something that probably feeds into its coziness is that it's not like final scene danger level, which is also great and has its great
Yeah, I see what you're
moments,
saying.
but Danger on Deception Island is more like, cozy mystery. I'm going to stop. I'm going to pause the mystery for a second and I'm just going to take all my time and just build whatever my heart desires while I listen to these waves and sit in this sand, you know? There's not many other Nancy Drew games where you can do that. Yeah.
Oh, well, I was gonna say the other like fun, like I feel like it's just because thing is that little tide pool
Yeah, it's so
over in the
fun.
corner, and like you can zoom in. And actually, I remember when
Yes. We
you
were
were
watching
like
Jacob Fisher.
shocked. Yes, you were shocked to discover like you can zoom in on like I think there was one. It was like over, like starfish
Starfish.
over on the right or something. I guess I remember your shock. You're like, I didn't know you could look up close at those. Like, yeah. Great
Yep.
moment. And then of course, and I know just in case people don't know about this, also like there's an Easter egg in the tide pool. You just keep clicking on that cute little orange fish and like many times. You do have to do it many times. And then it'll
Many,
come
many
up
times.
like my name is Lumpy and I was created by Kyle Jones and Donovan Larson, who Kyle Jones was one of the 3D artists at the time. Donovan Larson was one of the 2D artists. So
I love
they
it.
made sure to. And I remember actually that was one I discovered that Easter egg like totally on accident. Because
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep clicking on the fish and watch
I,
it swim around.
I
And
literally
then
did
suddenly I
too.
was like, what's this? You have a
No,
name?
same. And it wasn't on
Lumpy.
my
Hi, Lumpy.
I don't think it was on my first playthrough, but I definitely had that same experience, but I was a kid when it happened and I was like, "What?" But you know what? Since you brought up 2D, 3D artists, sadly enough, when Her Interactive was running that campaign about showing Unlock the Vault and they were showing all the behind the scenes concept art, they skipped Danger on Deception Island and then kept going. And I was so bummed that I reached out and I was like,
Me too.
"Where's DDI? I don't understand." And they actually responded and was like, "We actually don't have a lot of concept art from DDI enough to show." And I think I can't remember, like, I don't want to say this if this is not the case, but I'm just can't remember if this is my memory, but I want to say they lost some of it or something of that nature I don't know, but that that hurts my heart because they had lots of concept
Oh,
art to show many games.
lost at sea.
It's my buried treasure. I got to search for it.
Yeah. Oh, that is bummer. But we'll always have Lumpy.
And we'll always have that nasty second chance.
That one
That's awful.
probably the honestly, I'm thinking of that might be the worst one in the whole game.
I yeah, because
Like it is the most set up for failure ever, and
absolutely it is.
you can't skip. You can't skip the phone conversation. Like every time she slips in the rocks, and then she has to call home.
Oh, my head.
Yes, that one is
Is that the one
mean,
where
and
she says like I've got a headache with a goose bump or something?
yeah, yeah, like the size of something. Yeah, something about the
The
size of.
size of
I
a
gotta
goose
yeah,
egg or something.
goose egg. Yeah, yeah. That one is just, and the fact that they make you have to get it right in both directions. Because like there's some of these, I'm trying to think. There's some. Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? Haunting of Castle Malloy. You only have
Oh
to get
yeah,
the bog puzzle correct once,
it's true. Although
and then
that one's
you're
like
home.
20 million steps.
Well, yes, and then you're home free.
Yeah,
You don't have to. You can just click, and then you magically teleport to the hut.
it's true.
This one, like, nope, nope. You got to get it going. You got to get it going, but you got to get it both directions. Every time you get it wrong, sorry, you're in the water. And actually, the funny thing is, I have seen some like streamers probably play this game for the first time, man. And I've seen them like if there's one moment in this game where they're ready to like lose their mind, it's crossing the rocks.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
there was one. I can't remember the streamer's name, but she was like, "Can I skip through this? Like, I get it. I've heard this same death sequence like
No,
20 times now. Make
and
it
you know what's
stop."
so mean is that like you see that little island, and in your mind you're like there must be something important there because we can, you know what I mean? So you want to go there, and you go all the way out there, dying multiple times until you finally remember. You reach there, and then you realize that there's just more tiny little holes that you don't actually know what they're there for yet. And now you got to come all the way back. You did us wrong, her.
Yeah.
You did us wrong.
Yeah. Yes. But then, of course, the secret beach, significance to the story, because this gives us like our next big puzzle. The mysterious clamshell box. Which now like all that's, and it's got the flag. So now like the flags come into play, and Rosebud. This is finally like Rosebud has its moment. So like all this, yeah. So like I'm just curious. And then, of course, once you open it, there's even more puzzles inside. So I'm just curious, like, what your thoughts on kind of all of that, because it's like a whole. I feel like they kind of like they throw a whole bunch of things at you, kind of at once.
Well, I mean, when I had to go back, first of all, I had to go back and look at the chart again, first time playing through because I didn't know that I
Yeah,
needed to know it.
yeah.
And
This
so,
game definitely like yeah
yeah.
does a lot of forcing you to travel
And so,
around because
of course, back in the
you did
day,
yes you
you got
did
to
do that.
transcribe everything. Okay. So I had to go all the way back to the Hot Kettle Cafe and I had to
Eh,
transcribe, which flags it was. And then
I
also,
have game notes of colored drawings
yes. And then
still.
transcribe, of course, all of the alphabet for what it meant and stuff. But the thing is that I love uh, those kinds of puzzles where it's like scavenger hunt type of stuff. You've got to look things up and puzzle it out. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the Katie Firestone sticker. That Lemon Pepper Creations.
Yes. Shout out to Susie.
Susie. I have some
Yeah.
of hers too. I have yet to use any of my stickers one day, but yes. On of any sticker I've ever bought, like I haven't used them. But
Yeah. So yes, transcribing the flags.
yeah, yeah. So I love those kinds of puzzles
It's fun.
because yeah, it is fun. Like I love to like look things up and
Yeah.
I like scavenger hunt stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then so you get in and finally then you get this letter. And first of all, I love that like and it's from Hilda Swenson.
yep.
Ooh, and I love something's fishy in Snake Horse Harbor. It's not just the halibut. So first of all, like her drawing. I mean,
yes.
I feel like that her like signature drawing is so it's like one of the most iconic kind of like images in the
Yes.
games.
Yes.
But then also
Agreed.
I love like her stationery is puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
So even that's like giving you an indication like this lady, she loves puzzles. She
Yeah.
loves, making people use their brains to figure things out.
And not just handing things over
Um,
to him on a silver platter.
yes, yes. Do you have the whole letter memorized perchance? You sound like you might. Um, but yes. And then of course there's the crazy story
Yep.
about like
The dog
was it
and the
the
lima
dog
beans.
Alpha?
Yeah.
Yes. I love to do the tango and the foxtrot.
At the
And
hotel.
then yes. And so again, same deal. Like you need the cafe info like that. That international alphabet was not there for no reason. But honestly, it's like I actually think that's kind of a like again, these puzzles, like I wish I could remember. The one thing I regret is like I can't really remember like what child me thought of these puzzles, like what my thought process was. Like I'm like did I make the connection like, "Oh, I need the alphabet and oh, I should like just take the first letter of everything." Cuz like I'm so used to like when I replay now, I know exactly like what I'm supposed to do. And I even have like the message memorized. But I think it's they're very it's a clever like that whole like little clamshell box like it's a very clever setup like
I think so
for your
too.
first time playing it. And of course like again Nancy with her silly little noises and thing. Yeah, so like yeah, we just need to hear her mumbling.
It's so funny.
Yes. And like she hums at one point.
Yes.
Like it's so like it's just hilarious to me. And then of course that gives the whole setup. Like, oh, we gotta get Hilda sent gifts to people.
Now I go all the way back around town.
It's like a whole yes, a whole sequence. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh
So much
yeah.
going on there. But I did want to mention because we're talking about the box. This is a great moment in the game. Iconic. Like one of the best Nancy Drew moments ever. You find the beach, you find the box. You can have a conversation with the Hardy Boys about finding a secret beach with this box. And then comes the whole, oh, you found a geocache. And they're like going on and on about people using GPS. And this is when Joe gives his little like, that'd be a great present for an older brother to get his younger brother for, his upcoming birthday. And, I was not going to let this episode go by without commenting on like what I consider to be like Joe Hardy's finest moment like of all time, because it's after you talk to them about the geocache and the GPS, like you've set up that whole conversation. There's this moment of dialogue.
Yep.
You can talk to them about Caddy. And of course, you want to make sure that you pick the option that talks about like Caddy looks like a long, fat snake with flippers, head shaped like a horse's, and a back that humps when it swims. And Joe, my guy, like, that pretty much describes everyone you've ever dated, doesn't it, Frank? Best burn ever. Like, for all the times I burn Carter, I could never reach the level that Joe Hardy reached when he burned his brother in that moment. And of course it cost him the GPS. So I just wanted to make sure that we like acknowledge what a great moment that is.
Truly.
Yes. And honestly, like, I don't know, this is as good a time as any, even just to even mention like, again, like the phone conversation specifically that you can have with Nancy's friends in this game. And I know we've talked about this. You've already mentioned like how much it adds to the world building. Like they feel so natural and true to life. Like, yes, the banter between the Hardy boys and even their whole storyline, like they got Goldie, bad dog, they've got this tank of a Great Dane like in their garage that the owner needs to come pick up.
Ugh,
and then of course Bess and George. Oh no, my Roo, it's ruined. Oh no, she wrecked her Roo. Like I don't know what to say.
It's like some of the best world building. Like this game really does do some of the best world building.
The dynamic is perfection.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
No, like gave it their all, no notes, nothing to add, like made the best world building.
Yes. All right. And so then at this point, we got to get Holda's gifts. So you got to get Holt's gift.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the beginning of one of the many scavenger hunts that we do in this game.
Yes. Yes. Now Holt's is kind of simple. Well, simple yet not simple because you have to solve his chess problem.
Yep.
I'm bad at chess. I feel like I can't visualize. Like I'm terrible at that puzzle. Like please, I really tried this last time around to like do it with understanding of why I was making the moves that I was, but I still like I felt like my brain was just grasping at like I don't get it. Holt. And then of course, and he's all like, right as rain. And I'm like, well, you clearly knew how to do it, so why'd you ask me to?
Yeah, no, and you know what? That poor puzzle, you can just like put things in, and it'll tell you whether or not you're right or right.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of you can just guess and check. And then I do always find it funny though that so if you first of all, we got a shout out. So the chess book is by someone named Cass L. Rook. He's got the poker book in his bag by Ann T. Opp. Which, by the way, get your royal flush info at that point.
This is true.
And there's the lighthouse code. But also, I always found it hilarious that he got the pocket knife that says one bum. I'm like, Hilda. I know you're making puzzles, but also were you trying to make a comment to this man?
But
what do you think of him?
I think she was.
Yes. And then Jenna sends us. Why are you huffing? I thought you liked this puzzle. Jenna sends us clamming.
No. It wasn't to the clamming. It was actually just to her puzzle that she'll give us later.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, actually, I
So
do like the clamming.
gonna say you've actually like chastised me before about my use of the clam cheat. You're like, Tori, solve the puzzle, slow down, enjoy your life. Uh,
Sounds just like me.
yes. Um, which also we have to mention before you can go clamming, you must fix Caddy, the skeleton, at long last. Oh my
Yep.
goodness,
Oh, and
Andy
I think
making us
this is a point in the
making
conversation
us
where
do his
Nancy's
work
all
for
like, "Now,
him.
why did the term false advertising suddenly pop in my head?" Because
Yeah, that's Andy's when you get
Andy's,
Andy's gift.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can't you
So
just
when
like
you get
give it to me?
when you have to get Andy's gift because he puts them on the keychain. I love that. I honestly love that. How she just like backs them into a corner, like,
Is it okay?
dude,
Okay.
yeah, like give me that keychain. I took a tour. Yeah, that's so funny. I love the false advertising line. Like or even the but what if I really want one? Like either one. Like she's just gonna pester him one way or the other into caving. But yes, but to get your clamming permit, you got to solve the caddy puzzle, which again, shout out
Yes.
to the one-liners. Bingo. Good. Oh yeah.
Am
Nah.
I smart or what?
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Am I a creative genius or what? Like, girl, you know what? You know who does self-talk better than Nancy Drew?
Nancy
Like this.
Drew.
But also, I want to scream if I place something wrong. I'm like, Nancy,
So true.
stop yelling at me. I get
Wrong.
it. Yeah. Like, yes. Oh my word. Clamming though. I mean, that's really the big point here. Which again, I think her interactive was also in an air like they loved a good scavenger hunt. Find a dozen little critters,
Bugs.
find you like 10 arrowheads,
Arrowheads.
find 15 clams.
Get 12 ghosts, 15 ghosts.
Yeah,
Sorry, meaningless.
yeah.
13.
Find your
13 ghosts.
ghosts. Yes. So this is the scavenger. We're in the scavenger hunt era for sure. But now you were talking about this earlier, the Wizard of Oz. It's clamming. There you are, my
My
pretty.
pretty.
Like, can you just? I just crack up thinking about Nancy just wandering around the beach by herself and like talking every time she picks up a
I
clam.
also wonder about this stuff because I'm like, did they actually put that in the script or is that just Lonnie just being creative? You
I
know
don't
what I mean?
know. Listen, but also I love it's so hilarious like when she finds something she doesn't need. Okay. Please, Carter, can you please explain to me why? Sometimes when she picks up the fish skeleton, she'll look at it and say, "Arf!"
I forgot she does that.
Why does she bark at it?
I wonder if she does that because she's actually trying to simulate a seal. And you know how seals arf, like with the fish? That's maybe
See?
what I don't know.
I don't know, but it's so. I was like, "Well, Nancy, she's barking mad." Okay. Anyway,
It's our girl Nancy.
also, she might get a sand dollar a day late and a sand dollar short. Like, yes, just delightful. And I would also like to mention now this is Carter and I have a little bit of we have a little bit of beef going on over this because I am trying so hard to get Carter to use the clam cheat. He won't do it. He's on record as saying he thinks like a killer whale is going to jump out of his computer screen and attack him if he does it wrong. Like one of these days, like I need you to do the clam cheat. But anyway, I do want to talk about it.
You need to tell them how to do it.
Yes, I was gonna say I want to make sure we talk about this because actually some people
They don't know about it.
They don't know about the clam cheat. Now, I do agree. I have come around much more to appreciating the slow pace of this game. So I do in general. I do get a lot of enjoyment now, more than I used to, over thank you, my friend. You teach me much about the value of a slow life. Like I will go around, I will find the 15 clams. I will try not to crash off the rocks. And I will hunt them on that little itty bitty sand lot. But there is a cheat. If you can't be bothered or you're like speed running, whatever, in a hurry, there is a cheat. Well, first of all, save your game, people. Save your game because this one will break your game if you do it wrong. So save your game. If you find a clam, you want to get it so it's like sitting like close up on your screen, like the close up shot of it, like just before Nancy can click on it and put it in her bucket. And while you're looking at it close up, you just keep going in and out of the bucket in your inventory. Just keep clicking the bucket, like go into it, back out of it, go into it, back out of it. And you do that and you'll just see clams magically appearing in your bucket. And you do that
Wild.
until, make sure you're counting. You have to be able to count. I don't know if maybe that's also why Carter doesn't want to do it. Maybe he doesn't think he can count to 14.
Wow.
Anyway, if you can successfully count to 14, once you get to 14 clams, stop what you're doing. Click on the clam.
That's a very important part.
Zoomed in on your screen, and that will be your 15 clams. I'm all set.
Yep. Because if you don't, it'll crash.
If you miscount, game's broken.
It'll crash like a wave.
You have messed up. Yes. And I would just like to say for the record, I do believe that Carter can count. I think he knows how to get to like at least 1 centillion, if that's even a number. I'm sure he could do it. Anyway.
Bye.
You know. And I am counting on him to not cancel me as his co-host. Giving him such a hard time.
No, you know, I love it. Honestly, we have the best playful banter. But no, that is truly how I felt about the clam hunting, is that I genuinely really enjoyed it. Because I like to be on the shore in this game. And you know, I realize a lot of people hate this puzzle. But hey, if you're listening to this, maybe you should try it in a way that it's like, no, like, let me take my time finding these spots and really just enjoying the atmosphere that was created in the area where you have to hunt for them. And I promise you will hate it less. You may not love it like I do, but you will at least not look at it like, oh, I just want to get through this. You know, I find it to be incredibly cozy. I can't see, this is the thing, is that I actually can't say that about going a dozen critter hunting, because I think a dog's can come get me at any point. It's actually very like, oh, I must get the bugs. But this one was, I feel like, created to be cozy and relaxing, you know? So
it's a solid
enjoy it.
Slow down and enjoy it. And I appreciate they'll give you that little verbal cue where Nancy will say something like, I don't think there are any more clams here. Maybe I should look somewhere else for a while. Like, so they are trying to make sure that you don't like unnecessarily like waste your time in one spot.
It's true.
You know, they'll give you that cue. So now I think this, then once you clam, this is what you were huffing and puffing about. So I'm guessing you have beef with the like, whatever that is, lunchbox? Like, what even is that thing? Like, match pairs across all 3 screens. I think it's funny. Like, how this dialogue is just seared in our brains. This is gonna be us the next 2 episodes. Just like,
yeah, like I just don't like this one, and I'm you know what?
I don't think I knew this.
Well, I don't
think I knew that you like don't like this puzzle.
It's just, I think the sound effects are too loud for me, and just too like, it's just too much, because you have to go through 3 rounds of it, and so you're just hearing that do 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 like over and over and over again. Just like sends the wires in my brain just, you know. So I don't know how everyone else is, which I don't know, maybe they view the same way. I will say the most disappointing part of this game, in my opinion, is the game's puzzles. You know, the puzzles are particularly weak, I feel, in this game, compared to everything else, because everything else I feel like it's just like, whoa, it's so strong, like story and the atmosphere and everything, but characters and world building, but music. But that's the one thing I feel like it lacks in is puzzles. Yeah.
I think that's fair. There's definitely like a lacking, I feel like, in complexity
Yeah.
on some of them. Like especially like just doing a memory match puzzle, that's really not
Yeah.
that exciting.
Mm-mm.
Um yeah, there's really not a puzzle that you really have to like kind of like mentally sink your teeth into in this game. And again,
No.
and I've kind of already been drawing attention to this. I feel like um I actually do think I think Danger on Deception Island's puzzles, I think actually they do to a degree deserve maybe a little bit more credit than they get, because I'm referring to like the first time you play the game. I
Oh,
think
sure.
there is a lot of satisfaction to be had in solving these for the first time. Although again, if you're not into all the like reading and the educational aspect, that's going to be a challenge too, cuz so many of them are grounded in like needing to, learn things.
Sure.
But my issue is I really definitely would say the puzzles don't hold up well on replay.
Sure.
Cuz a lot of things you tend to like, especially all the quizzes, the scavenger hunt like that Hilda sends you on later, like it's so easy just to have a lot of those things like memorized.
Yeah.
So then it takes like all the effort out of it.
Yeah, I
Um
agree.
yeah, and even like, decoding the crazy story. I to this day have ask, HS AD
JD,
AG
AJ
AJ about,
for
Hilda's gift.
gifts.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like there's even really no reason to try to solve the puzzle like legitimately, unless,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like making myself like do it fair and square. So yeah. I would agree with you on that. They could be stronger
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Oh,
But it's
yeah.
like, thankfully, as you said, like pretty much every other aspect of the game more than makes up for it. So at this point, if you've got all of their gifts, you have this,
Mm-hmm.
you have this big long anagram.
One bum.
Yes, and of course, like you gotta love that, like they very obviously, like on the laptop, like, hell yeah, let's just put an anagram buster on your computer because that's not going to be important later.
Right?
Um, so then you can use your anagram buster. Now I am curious because there's like two ways to solve it. You can like try to do it entirely yourself just by moving the tiles around.
Yeah.
Um, or it'll also give you the auto buster option where it'll give you all these like funny like things that are obviously wrong, and then there's telephone number.
Yeah.
Like do you recall like how you solved this
Oh, I'm
when you
sure if I was six, I probably did the auto. Yeah.
yeah, I actually don't remember.
I'm sure I did.
Um
Yeah.
but yeah. So telephone number. And at this point of course you can actually get telephone number, send it via Morse code at the lighthouse. And at this
Ooh.
point,
That's where it
we
gets
should
like
be able to get into the lighthouse.
detective-y right here.
Yeah, which is super super fun. Um yeah, and this is like I feel like this at this point like so many things are happening cuz it's kind of like at this point in the game like you could there's like the lighthouse, like yes, getting in contact with Hilda, but then we'd also mentioned like you have the royal flush info, um which by the way, actually, honestly, can we like leave Hilda and her stuff aside for a bit and
Yeah.
swing over to we got to talk about like when you go back to the cafe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so completely obsessed with the way they like set this up
Mm-hmm.
because we get so used to the cafe as being this lively, um, inviting, happy place. And at this point in the game, like when you walk into, I kid you not, like dead silent. Like they don't even let soundtrack music play when you walk into the cafe at that moment. Like nothing's playing in the background. You don't hear people talking. Like it's
gone.
You could hear a pin drop in there, which I think is so, like, you're coming back with these clams, and I think that's so like just powerful the way they did that, because the Nancy Drew games tend to, like, it would be very, you wouldn't, the chances of having like a true like moment of silence where there's no like audio effects and like no music playing, like that's very rare. And so that moment has always stood out to me, like when you come back with the clams.
Oh yeah.
Of like, oh my, like
what's happening?
what's and they're immediately setting you up for like, what's wrong?
Yep.
Like what happened? And then of course, you find out.
No, and as soon as you find out that there
drama
has been a whole robbery, and I think my mind immediately was like, oh, wait a minute. Katie's boat was ransacked, and now the cafe is like all destroyed in this, like, why? Like, what's going on? But Jenna too, like, had such seriousness about it. Like the tone, you could feel it. You could feel it in the room for sure. And then I know that Nancy does make the mention of the Save King stuff.
Yeah, like there's the breadcrumbs when you get to explore the pantry.
Yeah, it's actually great because you get to go into this space that you weren't able to go into. And now you're able to also learn more about Hilda Swenson in the newspaper article that's on the wall. The Save King stuff, of course. And that's going to open up a whole conversation dialogue with Hilda. And the Save King is going to open up a whole breadcrumb trail for Katie when you go back to her boat. And so that's really interesting as well.
Yeah. And of course at this point then, which I will give credit, probably one of the stronger puzzles in the game is having to set all the royal flush tiles.
I agree.
And I actually, and again, I'll give them credit, like they don't really spell that out to the player that's what you should do. They really do just kind of let you make the connections. Like Casey showed you the website that mentioned it used to be called the Royal Flush Saloon.
Yes.
Holt's got the book with the Royal Flush poker hand, and then they're hoping that you will kind of put those pieces together on your own, which I'm trying to remember. I actually don't remember if young me like put all the pieces together specifically that I should be like trying to make a royal flush. I wish I could remember. I can't remember if I just like honestly did it on accident. Like maybe solved one of them on accident and then suddenly realizing like, oh, okay, let me do this again, but just keep like doing it with different card suits. Like I actually don't remember, but it's a very clever setup. And then of course, if you do it, drama, like where the salt shaker, which by the way, the salt shaker being tipped over on the table, that's a really like clever little clue. That there's something kind of strange about that particular corner of the cafe. But then suddenly like, oh my goodness, we love a good secret passageway.
Wouldn't be a Nancy Drew game without one.
Which you cannot enter without making Katie a sandwich, because you gotta have her headlamp.
Yes. Where's my headlamp? Where's my gosh.
So of course if you're into food poisoning, by all means, you can food poison Katie.
Which is absolutely hilarious. Recommended trying it at least once.
Yes.
Because she makes a real nasty face.
My game has a very odd glitch. Every time I play this game now, even if I haven't made a sandwich yet, like my game will let me offer Katie like a sandwich that I don't have.
Really?
Yes, I've noticed that. Like I don't know what's weird about my copy. Like it's some strange glitch I have. I can offer Katie an invisible sandwich, and it shows up on her plate like she has a sandwich and she eats it and it's great. Like it's a perfect sandwich. I don't know what ingredients are on it, but it's perfect and it doesn't make her sick.
What?
So like I can actually do this whole sequence without actually making a sandwich for her.
Wow, I've never heard of that glitch before.
I don't know.
But isn't that where when you come back to make the sandwich, that's where you see the Save King stuff.
I think
I think that's
I'm
when you
guessing if
do.
assuming you have
Because
inspected the pantry, and of
you
course Katie gets
well,
all
it's
like
actually
on.
you are going back to the boat and there's like I think you have to like go down. No, yeah. When you're going down the stairs, there's actually a box right before the stairs, and you can
Oh,
click on it, and Nancy will go, "Save King," like that, you know.
yeah.
And
I don't remember exactly the triggers work.
yeah,
Usually for
because
me is
that's what
I see it in
opens
the
up.
cafe and then I see it on the boat.
Yes, no, yeah, you're right because like you
Yeah.
have to click on both, and then once you click on the one in the boat and Nancy comments on it, then that's when it actually opens up the actual conversation unlocks to be able to ask Katie about it. And she's like,
Yeah.
I can't help but notice that
Oh, yes,
you have
yes.
Save King stuff, blah, 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 and Hot Kettle
Yeah, and
Cafe. Yeah.
Katie, that's kind of one of those first I feel like where she gets kind of
Actually, she
um
recommends Nancy to that she's gonna figure a way out to get Nancy to leave and go back home. She's like, for what I can't remember exactly what she
well that's
says.
isn't that after don't you have to see the fish? I think.
Oh, maybe you do. I can't remember because that I know that all that triggering is very like
Yeah, it all happens
close.
actually. Yes, it all is very close because actually I like the cooler melted
Ah, yeah, yeah,
when
yeah,
when I went back to make the sandwich for her.
yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah. It's
everything
all at
happened at
once.
once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just remember,
So
but I remember Katie saying something like that's the end of the conversation. You don't really have much conversation with
yeah.
Katie after that. Like I think she gets upset that she feels
Yes.
that Nancy's accusing her, and then at that point, she's like, "Well, I'm gonna call George and get you back on a flight to River Heights, Nancy, because blah 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 blah."
Yeah, and I can hear Bess saying like, "Gosh, George, you sure have weird friends."
Yes, yes.
um yes. Anyway,
But then you get to go back to the tunnels.
yes, into the tunnels. Um We have thoughts about Elvis was here. Please listen to our
Yeah, I
Sunny
forgot.
June
Totally forgot.
episode in season 1.
We sure did mention that.
And then, oh, this is a fun one. The other great Easter egg in this game. Like, please, I I want to hear you talk about this, and like, especially if people don't know about this Easter egg.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
It's super, super fun. But when you're walking in the tunnels, I think to the left is one store. But if you go to the right and keep going down the way, you'll find the second store. And this is back to those breadcrumbs again because you read on the handy dandy laptop that there were two stores that had been burglarized. And when you open the trap door to these stores, you can see that they are like a hardware store and like a camping store. Like you can see the image of them. So it ties back to that. Like you're like, now this is how people have been getting around and burglarizing places. But on the second store that you come up to, the trap door, you can actually open and close the trap door. I can't remember if it's how many times is it 10 times, I think.
I'm not sure.
But
Just keep
it
doing
just
it.
keep doing it and
You'll get a
then
special surprise.
you like the actual square that opens up of the store will just all of a sudden kick in with some Western music and then it just starts showing you all these images and these crazy
Random
random
images, and
images.
some of them like literally are like popped
3D.
off the screen.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're amazing. Like
and Max Holochek himself is in there, like holding up an FBI badge.
it's awesome. It's awesome.
You know, which please do not forget, people. Max Holochek was responsible. You know,
Thank you for bringing that
if
back.
you
I'm
remember
so
nothing,
glad you brought that
if you
back.
remember nothing else from this podcast, please remember that Max
Carter, was he
Holochek
responsible? Responsible.
was responsible. Okay.
Yes.
Everyone should be writing thank you notes to that man. Anyway,
So
yes,
good.
I love it's
I
such
love
a
that
fun
one.
Easter egg.
And not
It's so
just
like random
It's yeah, it's
and delightful.
it's just for fun, and I love it.
Yes.
I love it. But also, you have to
Yes.
mention too, the tunnels is the great place and the home of another cairn. It's
Yes.
Edge.
And yes. And by the way, we say in a world full of Karens, be a Cairn. Okay. So we should all.
Who said
Yes.
that?
Oh
Did
my
I say
goodness.
that? Or did you say
No,
that
I
in
I
the
made a I
stream?
made a I made a meme about it
Oh,
at
did
some
you?
point.
Did you? I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember where that originated from.
Yeah, because my brain is just dumb that way. Um also, shout out to the tunnel walking animation. I just the sounds of her feet and also just like you it's very like up and down. And also when you realize that where she ends up. Ping 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 ping,
Like,
like, are you
where have
thinking
I
caps time?
heard that before?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Which, you know, she makes that comment about, I think, like, good thing I wore my walking shoes, or I think I just walked for miles. I think she legit did. Like, look on that fast travel map. Look at where the Hot Kettle Cafe is versus where the lighthouse is. Like, that girl literally walked across town.
I'm amazed that she
Nancy,
actually did it.
how long were you down there? How many steps did you get?
Because
Like,
I'd be scared. I'd be like, "Oh, this
the
is a
world needs to
tunnel,"
know.
but I'm not gonna go. Like after maybe a 2-ish minutes of walking, I'd be like, "No, no, never mind. I'm turning back around."
Yeah, and then, there's that sea monster image on there, and, I think, yeah, somewhere it's around that door, like, you can pick up the oil,
Mm-hmm.
which is very important, and then,
Yep.
of course, Jenna gets real upset and
I don't want
shocked.
you going down there anymore.
Yeah.
I got my
Not
reasons,
without telling
okay?
me first. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yes. Um, very, very suspicious. And like, she is like, she does genuinely sound surprised, but then the immediate like clamping down, like, don't go in there. It's
I'm
like,
pretty sure
wow,
too. It's
that's not sus at all.
yeah. I'm pretty sure too. It's one of those Ranger Acres moments. Ranger Acre moment. I'm pretty sure you can like literally just turn around and just go right back, and then she'll be like, "Hey, so anyways, yeah,
Yeah. Um yeah, I do love that. I've got my reasons. But then of course, like, yeah, so like all this like tunnels, you need the oil in there and stuff, because now we can go back to like finally, and I did notice like the tunnels and the contacting and the like, not contacting Hilda, but like going through the secret door in the lighthouse, like those can kind of happen in either order. So
yeah,
I think generally usually I do the lighthouse stuff first, and then I end up doing like the second half in the tunnels. But yes, like you can go back to the lighthouse, and like finally we can get in there. Like, thank
yeah."
goodness. Not I honestly I would not have minded, especially because Holt caught you once. I would not be opposed to like them making it kind of like a second chance situation, almost like in like Warnings at Waverly, where you have to hide from Paige.
Yeah,
Like, I
that
think it
would
would have
be
been really
good.
fun if they kind of like force you to have to somehow like escape Holt or like hide so he
That
doesn't
would be
catch you
good.
again.
It actually would be like, can imagine. I think there's like a little window in that front spot. Imagine like Nancy hears Holt approaching, but on the phone, and his phone call makes him sound suspicious, and she can see him through the window, and then
Ooh.
that's when she has to hide.
Ooh, that would be great.
Yeah.
But yes. So like, there's the sea monster puzzle. So again, obviously you have to solve
Which,
both
by the way,
both halves, like down in that
did we
secret.
ever actually go into detail about like having to send the Morse code telephone number at the top?
Um no, we can. Yes. Well, I was just commenting only because we had just been talking about like that
Right.
puzzle, because it doesn't really do anything except suddenly you have a trap door you can go through, and then you realize, there's this strange caddy on the wall. What's this about? Like, it's another one of those puzzles where it's like, I have no idea what this
I don't know.
means, but clearly it's important. But yes, obviously, like this is kind of like the big moment. Like finally, like you can actually contact Hilda. And I always found it like I felt very cool, like putting
Yeah.
Nancy's phone number in Morse code, and then suddenly like the victory
Ah, that
music
victory music that makes
explodes,
you
and it's
just
like
feel like,
yes,
oh, yes.
and then finally like oh my goodness, like Hilda Swenson, finally at last we get to talk to her,
Yep.
and I know you love her, Carter. I mean,
I
who
love her.
doesn't?
I do. I love her. She's so good. I wish she'd come back for another game. She's the best. I just, she's just so, especially given the background that they have, written about her, about being like ex Hollywood and all that stuff, and how she loves to. I don't know. She's just so interesting. Just I just imagine going to this like seashore, maybe on a cliffside house far off, and she just has the coolest, neatest house and a collection full of stuff. But I just love her. I love her. I love how
Yeah,
she's.
she's
What'd you say?
she's
The
so like
talking.
charismatic, and I love that they make sure that the voice actress did like that kind of old school like Hollywood, that
Yes.
very I can't remember what
Transatlantic.
dialect. Yes, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it's like easy girl, like because she's
Yes.
all like I'm not the because
Not
Nancy's
the Queen
acting
of
like she
England
just
here.
yeah like I
Stuffy lot, those Windsors.
yeah
Yeah.
oh my
Love her.
yes
No, when I say we'll do lunch, I mean
yeah
not that we'll actually. Yeah, she's the
yes
best. She's a character. She's like a
yes
whole character, but could totally
just like
see that.
Casey.
Yes. Oh, this game just exudes just in everything.
Honestly, Hilda and Casey have more personality than Andy, Jason. Let's be real.
Tori. Tori came for you and your khakis, Andy. In your
Also,
khakis.
also, I've always like Hilda. Like she did an internet. She said she did an internet. Like where there's a will and a satellite internet connection, there's a way. Like she did a whole internet search on Nancy. Like, man, I
She
was like, I
means
hope she never
business.
finds out. I hope she never gets my bank account numbers. I'm in trouble. But yeah, also I honestly feel like we need to back up just for a moment and also mention like to contact Hilda, you also need to get a light bulb.
Oh
I feel like
yeah, that's a good one.
finding the light bulb can be another one of those if you don't know the trick. It can be a very like wood puzzle, kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
Um but I know it's so I love like there's a trick. It's like all the light bulbs make noise when you pick them up except one. And
It's so
it's
clever.
the silent one that actually works. And I'm so glad that it's always the same light bulb. And it's always the one that doesn't make noise. Like if they made that a randomized puzzle, I would hurt something.
Maybe they fell bad after all the clamming.
Yeah. So then of course,
It's time.
um, it's not an old school Nancy Drew game without some massive
Boss
scavenger
puzzle.
hunt. Like boss level, yes. And Hilda sends the email
Yeah.
with the like
Which
biggest
I like
scavenger
it, but
hunt
some
ever.
people just hate it, and I love it.
I do wonder also kind of because again, you talking about like this is a game that encourages slowness. Like
It
slow
does.
down, enjoy yourself. I do wonder if there are people who find it like they find a certain level of like tediousness in the having
No, I
to
think I
like
think that's what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
having like I gotta go
All the way
here.
back out here
I gotta
again.
go out kayaking and hunt for all the,
Mm-hmm.
lights on the nuns, and I gotta find this, and I gotta go back into the tunnels
Yeah,
and
yeah.
count all the
Which
cairns.
is so valid. Like I get that.
I can see, yes,
I
I can
get
see
that.
that.
But I'm totally fine with it because I'm like, yeah, but every place I visit, I'm like, hotel cafe, lighthouse, boat, out on the water, kayak, I'm at the beach. Like I just love every single part of it.
Yeah, because I
So
think you end up to solve her puzzle, you have to go on the water, you have to go to the Hot Kettle Cafe, because you got to know the clam chowder cost, and you got to go down into the tunnels. So they really do send, like, you have to go. And honestly, even between, like, when you factor in like Holt's quiz, you can't solve that without going to Whale World. Like, this game doesn't sure, like, you are going to have to visit every single location, like, just to find a very, like, specific piece of information that you need to solve a puzzle.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, I like the puzzle. I'm very, like, up and down now as a replayer in terms of whether I can be bothered to, like, go out and solve it legitimately every time. And
Interesting.
honestly, usually it's, like, seared in my brain at this point that there are 5, count 'em, 5 cairns in the tunnel, and one of them is exceptionally easy to miss because of where they put it, and it makes me grumpy. For the longest time, like, I'm always like, 4. Why is it not 4? There are 4 because they, like, I can't remember specifically where it's hidden, but they're, like, real sneaky, and they put one in a very, like, easy to miss spot. And I kind of resent that.
Tori has given her onion here today, folks. She's actually being a Karen.
Well, now that's a shot. That's a real shot for me. Okay. All
She's
right.
being
Just
a
for
Karen
that.
about the Karens.
Just for that, I'm gonna have the orca carry you down to the shipwreck and leave you.
Goodbye.
Anyway, now also I will say the her isophase, like finding the isophase.
That one's hard.
Those stress me out.
I agree.
Because there's I think 2 of them that light up, but one of them does not do it at the whole, like, it has to be at equal intervals, and it throws me off because my overthinking kicks in, and I'm like, I don't know, that might be even, and I just can't count. Like,
yep.
people, it's not. One of them is a red herring. That kind of upsets me too, but it's okay. It's a fun puzzle overall.
But honestly though, and I reinforce what we talked about earlier is I do think that this game does need help in the puzzle department, especially when you compare it to the next 2 games that would come after it. No, 3, 4 games.
And then and the other thing is, which this is fair, you solve that big scavenger hunt email, and all it gets you is another puzzle. Now you get a riddle, like the letters only a sailor could love, like her riddle about that. Which, by the way, we'd found that paper, the starboard paper, eons ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, now I am curious because that puzzle sends you into a maze of tunnels. How do you feel about that? That puzzle always to this day gives me a little bit of anxiety.
I don't know, because I at this point can just like just get around inside.
Okay.
But first time playing through, absolutely chaotic.
I love that for you. Well, see, here's the deal is I understand exactly what directions I'm supposed to go. I think it gives me anxiety because what I have actually something the Nancy Drew games have helped me determine about myself as a person, and this transfers over into real life, is like I have some sort of, like, I think, anxiety about getting lost in a maze.
Ooh. Real. That's
because
real.
Any time a Nancy Drew game has some sort of maze-like environment where you could kind of get off track even for just a little bit, I get so, like, stressed, like, that I'm just gonna get, like, lost forever. And I realize, okay, well, save your game before you go into the maze and you can always start over. But still, it just, like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to get lost at all. And so I always get like paranoid that I'm gonna just like I don't know somehow my eyes are gonna look at the wrong letter. I'm gonna click the wrong direction, then I'm gonna get all turned around.
But it
And I'm
is
never gonna find my way out. I'm gonna be trapped in these tunnels forever. Like
I
Caddy's
mean,
got me.
it's not particularly like, because I mean, it's not like the most is fun because it's like 12 steps of going doom, 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 like back
And
and
it's
forth, back
not
and forth.
entirely intuitive because sometimes the directions it's not just the forks in the road. It's going around the corners.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Mm-hmm.
mean. Okay? I think it should only count
Very.
apply to the forks in the road. And then also they force me, Carter. Once I find her etchings on the wall, which by the way, can we talk about Hilda? I mean, I know she and her husband explored everywhere. I'm just trying to picture her like she found her way into those tunnels and then she's painstakingly etching a picture onto the wall in these dark, creepy tunnels.
The
Like,
woman does it all.
girl,
She
give me
does
your
it all.
courage. Give me your spunk. That's amazing. Um,
But yeah, no, I mean,
and
like once you
also,
finally
and then you
get
have to go back.
the
I don't
yeah,
like
the
this. You
I know. It is a
have
lot
to
of
go
going back and
back.
forth. It
Give me
is
an
true.
exit route.
It is true. But once you finally get the coordinates, then you're able to
Yeah, this is a big moment.
this is like the selling point of the towards getting to the end. Um and you're able to,
Binoculars. Which
yes, find the
hey, all you
binoculars.
Clue Crew artists, anyone wanna make the binoculars?
Oh,
Sell them
wouldn't they
to
just
us?
be absolutely beautiful? But yeah, you get the special binoculars, and then you find out this is actually the last time you're going to speak to Hilda. And Nancy's like, "You mean I'll never get to meet you?"
Okay, yes. I'm full of thoughts about that. Which
Tell us.
I realize she does end up like she kind of gets Hilda to share more information. Like, that's not fair. You know, you can't just send me on this puzzle and then not tell me anything. Like, so Hilda does kind of like give in and tell her, like, you know, my husband and I, we explored everywhere. We had this notebook with all this Benjamin Hawkins stuff, and it ended up in the wrong hands. And of course, you see, like, so, like, everything Hilda's doing is coming from a place of like she feels really guilty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she feels responsible for whatever's going on in Snake Horse Harbor, but also like it makes me really sad that she willfully like chose after all this just to like I'm gonna go back to the hermit life. Um and Nancy has to keep all of it a secret. Like she's not allowed to go tell Jenna or anyone else, hey, guess what? Like Hilda's not crazy. Um she's really brilliant and she helped me figure out like something's going on here.
Yeah.
And it just makes me sad that like Hilda just chose just to go back, like letting everyone think she's crazy. And also like the fact that she said like the people of Snake Horse Harbor, I got tired of them. I was like, this makes me really sad. It's not I understand, but I was like the person in me that like loves a good happy ending. I was like, I wish there were a way she like gets like reintegrated back into the community. So I'm always like, that's sad.
It is so
Everybody
sad.
thought she was crazy
I
for all
know.
time, and that's the way she wanted it, which
I
is her
know.
right. But
I
no,
know. Yeah.
Hilda, you can have friends. They're not all bad.
Yeah. But also too, I do feel that Hilda, and this is why I wish we could have another game where she comes back or maybe learn more about her, is just because I feel like I want to know more about her thoughts in the people and how she views the town. And,
Yeah.
like, I know she must feel some sort of abandonment from people that she once thought were, you know, people that she trusted, or, I don't know. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a lot of, I think, deeper meaning there
Yeah.
that we don't get in the game.
Yeah. One other thing I just remembered, because we're kind of like basically getting into like, because like once you get those binoculars, you know,
Oh
you're
yeah,
really at
you're
that point
set.
like heading into like all the end game stuff. But we forgot to mention we kind of just left Jenna at this like very suspicious
It's true.
comment about like, don't go in the tunnels without talking to me first. But now it was interesting. I remember when I played the game, like when I got down into the secret lighthouse area, like and found the panel on the sea caves wall. I remember like I called the Hardy Boys, and the Hardy
Yeah.
Boys made this very insightful comment, like, something about, I think they're the ones that mention like that's probably how the Shanghaiers, because there's been all this talk earlier in the game, like Holt brings it up, like the Shanghaiing, and Jenna's very like, that's just a tall tale. But Frank and Joe mentioned like, well, that's must be how they got the Shanghaiers through that door, and that they get there, and probably how the burglars also like got their loot out of the way. But then it's like at this point, as long as you go, like whenever you go and talk to Jenna again, and you kind of reference this, like you possibly could have the conversation, like maybe like back to back, like she gets mad at you and then she like fesses up everything. Of course we find out like, and this fits right in with like, I feel like what you were saying earlier about, please, we need to know more about Jenna's family. Like this, like that whole story that you find out literally was her great great grandfather was kind of one of the people like in the thick of Shanghaiing. And so like Jenna's being secretive because she's trying to protect like her parents' feelings and stuff, because they would be like, devastated and humiliated to find out like, great grandpa was a Shanghaier. Like he assisted with all that, and there's just like so much, like there's the family drama there. Like they
Yes.
really tease us. I do wonder. Now I'm glad this game was not written in the personal era. Thank goodness. But at the same time,
True.
I do wonder if the personal era team had been responsible for this game. I do wonder what family drama they might have gone into with the Devlins.
You make a good point. I just have always wanted to know more about Jenna and her family.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah, I just wanted to make sure it's like that's kind of a big moment when you finally get Jenna to fess up, like, oh yeah, my family helped with Shanghai. Like,
yeah.
ooh, okay, that's a very big deal. But now it's like all this stuff happens at the end. It's like,
This is it.
Katie, like at this, and we kind of already mentioned it, like you can bust Katie on the frozen fish if you haven't at this point. Then Katie's all like, she's done with you. You're off the case. Like, nope, forget it. I don't need your help.
Right.
Um,
And I
so
think and at
that's
this
a big
point I
moment.
know, like, for my playthroughs, I would normally go ahead and start using the binoculars on the ship that's at Well World, and then I always kayaked back to the sea caves. Well, I'm sorry, no, went through the lighthouse secret passage to put in the code that you get from
Yeah,
the.
this is another one. There's like a ton of traveling around you have to do.
Yes, but once you finally unlock it and you see the sea cave, which how this works in the actual realistically part of it, I think it's funny to think about. You're just like, this just
Build a
lowers
gate
down
in a rock wall. I don't
in
know how
the
that works,
ocean.
but okay.
Yeah. So, um, anyways, it
That
lowers.
is funny.
It is humorous. It lowers, and you then get in your kayak and kayak towards the sea caves, and you're able to finally go into this secret area, and that's where things are like throwing the suspicion all in one direction towards Katie, because once you get there, you're like, Nancy makes the comment, these are Katie's gloves. And at that point, whatever I believed about Andy, Jenna, Holt, whoever, went out the window. I was like, Katie did it.
Same.
It's Katie.
I do remember being 100% convinced, like, oh my goodness.
Because, and
I
to
was
be,
helping the bad guy.
yeah, and to be fair, in most Nancy Drew games, once you got to that point, that's usually where you would like know like who it was. Like
Yeah.
Ghost Dogs is what I think of most often, is like once you got to that area, you knew it was Emily Griffin. You know what I mean? Because you could see
Yeah.
her handwriting, you could see these things. So I was like, it's Katie. Katie did it. And you have the uh fur the fur, is that where you can see the fur? Or no.
No, that's at the very end of the
That's
game.
at the
You're
ship.
thinking of the, well, you can see the boxes, the crates,
Yes, the boxes, the crates. You can see the
and the
crates
harness,
and the harness and the
and then
beach
of
ball.
course, yeah, and of course we get a visit at long last
I
from
just
our
love it.
friend the whale.
Yeah.
Yes, and again another. Maybe she likes to play catch, like
It's
that
so
when she,
clever. It's so clever.
yes,
It sets you up for the
which
end.
I that was so exciting to me. I remember I was just like overjoyed that we actually got to like
I
have an up
know.
close encounter with the
Me
whale.
too.
Cause that literally, like, that's why I wanted to play that game. Like the
Yeah.
cover alone sold me. I was like, yeah, I want to see a whale. Let
Yeah.
me see a whale.
Mm-hmm.
So that's such a fun moment. Now I do want to just mention one thing, unrelated to like everything we're talking about. This is going way back to when we were talking about the emails,
Oh
Daddy
yeah.
Drew's day off.
Yeah.
I did just want to mention, because one thing you all will want, if you have not done this before, you want to make sure, because this can be an easy little like email to miss, is make sure, like, before you go traipsing off to the sea caves and stuff, make sure that you check your email one more time, so that you can read the email that Carson sends about his day off, because it just is the perfect like capstone to that whole saga. Like, poor Hannah, the man trashed her kitchen and her bathroom, tried to build a bookshelf, got himself sent to the ER with bleeding and broken fingers. And Hannah builds the bookshelf herself. And then as long as you like do it very close to the game, like before you do all that end game stuff, like check your email one more time and you can find out, like, Carson sends this, like, I had a great day off and something happened. I'm not really sure what, but I finished the bookshelf and anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, because that's something like, I think it took me many like playthroughs before I finally caught that last email, because they kind of sneak it in, like, and you gotta
They do lots
get
of
your
sneaky
timing.
things in this one,
Yeah,
don't they?
you gotta get your timing just right if you want to read like Carson's little email about the whole day. But it's just, that's so satisfying to me. Like, that story gets a completion. The
Well,
Hardy Boys story gets completion. Like, Goldie gets picked up and trashed the garage. So there goes the reward money. Like, I love that all the side stories kind
well, I
of
was gonna
also get
say, with all the world
their
building,
wrap up.
you're actually leaving the sea caves, and you receive one last phone call
Yes. Yes.
from
One
Bess and
final.
George,
Bess and George.
and it kind of is wrapping up, the game. This is like the
That to me is
all.
always like that phone call. I was like,
That's the
yep,
phone
here
call.
we go.
Yeah.
Yes. And it always triggers as soon as you leave the caves.
Mm-hmm.
Um and
Is that the one? Is that the
I
phone
think
call where they go, "When are you coming home, Nance? We're bored silly here." Is that one?
I
Am I thinking of
don't
another game? I think it's that one, but
remember. But
we can talk about what happens
yeah.
when you do officially you have the phone call and you leave, and now you're making
Oh,
your way
but
back.
yes. Yes. You go back and dun dun dun.
She's
Katie's ship
gone.
is gone.
And like at this point, if you didn't
That was so
already
scary to
think
me.
that Katie was it, now you really think Katie's it. It's
Yes.
yeah. Actually, this
She
is
looks
interesting because
so
on
guilty.
my deep dive playthrough that I had of this game not that long ago, I actually went to Holt Scotto to ask if he would help. And I had never done that before. I actually just went straight to Andy Jason. Um, and Holt Scotto, you have a whole conversation with him about how you think it's Katie. And he would just keep shooting Nancy down. Well, call the Coast Guard. The fog's about to roll in. I'm not going to take you out. Blah, 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 blah. And I had never done that before. And I thought that was interesting. You can actually, I think, also talk to Jenna as well about
Yeah,
about it. Cause
I'd love to help you get the goods on Miss High and Mighty.
Yeah.
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 It's like, try Andy Jason. I also wanted to mention one other thing because I love, like, I was with these episodes because I want to make sure that we tell people, like, give them the tips towards, like, here's the rare things that you might miss out on. There's another. Make sure at some point before you go, like, and get Andy's help, you're gonna want to call the Hardy Boys one more time because there's this hilarious line of dialogue that you get. You can talk to them about, I think someone's enticed an orca into a life of crime.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, Nancy, being the little rat that she is, she drops this bomb on them. And then she's like, oh, wait, shoot. I just realized I don't have time to talk about this. And she hangs up on them. And if you call them back again, they'll be all like, what are you doing? Like, don't call us back until you know what's going on. Like, this is torture. Like, they're so
I don't think I knew that.
On edge about the whole thing. Yeah. So this is why I'm once you understand, like, these games and you know exactly when, like, things are going to trigger that cannot be untriggered. It's like, always, dude, like, make those phone calls, check that email one more time, whatever. Cause you never know what conversations might be awaiting, but
okay.
Yes. That's a fun one because a lot of people wouldn't think to, like, try calling the Hardy Boys one more time, but it's a great little moment. But yes, oh my goodness, the end of this game.
This is one of my faves.
I think I would give Final Scene the victory as being number one.
I agree with that. 100%.
But honestly, I'm quite comfortable saying this one's like a easy number 2 for me.
Absolutely. It's great ending.
High tension.
It's so good.
Like, starting with, like, Andy, like, leaves you in the fog.
With his shadowy figure.
Yes. And then you get, like,
be careful. Like, he's whispering at a low tone.
And then realizing there are henchmen on this freighter.
And not to mention just like
if the crew finds me.
Like, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, just to mention the whole lead up to the ship is actually incredibly, like, you're just like getting like amped up.
They make sure it's nighttime.
It's nighttime. It's foggy, but also it takes like 5 good paddles to get there, and then you have to climb up at least 5 times before you get to the edge right there to hear the henchmen. So yeah.
And then I get so, like, I guess I always, again, I love it and hate it. Like, anytime a Nancy Drew game forces you to do some sort of, like, you gotta quickly make a decision about where to hide so someone doesn't catch you. Like, Yes, me. Yes, yeah. I'm like,
you gave me chills talking about it.
So. It's so scary. And then this is what you were thinking of. You find the animal pelts.
Yes. Sorry.
This is where you find the animal pelts.
This is where you find them. Yes. You can actually open the crate and Nancy can touch the pelts. But a lot of people sometimes don't always do that because it's not required. When you're hiding, I don't think you have to open them, but you can. So
yeah. But but that's a good detail to make sure that they show you exactly,
And also,
what's being
you have to mention, it was like being a kid in the candy store. I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, and they like, what? Yes, the voices, and I think, like, the guy who voices Frank Hardy's, like, doing one of them.
Jonah is definitely.
And I think probably, like, Jonah's doing the other one. And also I love it if you get caught, you can hear Lonnie. Like, Lonnie voices one of the crew members, like, on the second chance. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was one of the. I thought it was Katie Firestone's actress.
It sounds like Lonnie to me.
Oh.
Anyway.
But it's funny because one of the you can see their shadows. It's literally just Katie Firestone with a popped collar, because you can see the hair. It's just funny. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Okay, but
after hiding in all those spots,
Carter, what about down underneath?
yeah, you finally get to the bottom and you can't actually go back at that point. I've tried. You can't actually turn around and go back. Once the door, you're at the bottom, you're at the bottom. And you can't interact with anything either. Um, so you have to move forward. The game forces you to. Um, and you make your way into pretty much what would be, I guess, considered like the henchman headquarters, where
Yeah,
like,
and you've seen the whale again at that point too, as you walk
yes,
by,
this is
because the
true.
whale pops up in her little
This is true.
holding area. Yes. Oh yes, the head.
And
Oh,
this is the moment as a kid where I was like, I got you, like, but boy, did the game get me. Because I'll never forget the sheer excitement and surprise that I felt when that chair turned around. Like the drop that I felt in my stomach was a feeling that I haven't had many times in the Nancy Drew games, because it was so shocking to me that it was not her, that I was wrong, because the game had set it up that it was going to be Katie, and I really, really believed it was her. And she was tied up and gagged. Like, I know
it
we've
really,
had a
it really is shocking.
It is. I know we've had a gun in the Nancy Drew games, but that somebody being kidnapped and we see them now. Also, this is why we talk about the final scene with the ending, because her being locked up in like a whole furnace and like that one, right? I guess that was another time where I just felt like the ending was very invasive and like, wow, this is, you know, so shocking.
Yeah. And she's talking, and then again, they just keep like it's one like high stress thing after another, because
Hmm.
I always remember you start hearing the footsteps, and then Katie's frantic like someone's
Hide,
coming, hide,
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 hide.
like, and then you have to like scurry off into the corner, and the way they do the camera shot,
Oh, it's so good.
fantastic, because it
You can like
swings
see
over.
Nancy like trying to peek over
Yes.
and see
And then Andy.
them khakis.
It's like, he helped us get here, which by the way, and then you realize like probably Nancy, fool that she is, probably filled him in on every last little detail on the boat ride over. So
Yep,
Andy knows exactly,
everything.
like, girl, you just fed right into his hand.
But it's interesting because Andy's
Oh,
like,
oh,
wait a minute, how'd you get that gag off?
yes. And
You
then he
know,
starts walking. Yes. And then you have to run
Nancy.
for it. And by the way, the music, specifically the way the danger music kicks in when you have to make a run for it.
That I don't know what that one sound is. I can hear it, and
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
start, it's like almost like a surprise, a panic surprise.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
But
Oh
then
my
you
word.
finally make it to the ending part where
The
the
door.
door
We're
shuts,
trapped. We're
and
trapped.
now Andy is, you know, and gonna have the whole evil villain monologue and starts like approaching Nancy.
Yeah.
But
Yes, her interactive also in there. Villains ominously getting in your face era.
a
Oh,
bunch of
oh,
them.
oh.
But yeah, no, it's great because it's a callback to your first time meeting the orca with the beach ball, and you have to reach for the tank and throw it in the water,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
it hits Andy Jason, and it's he does this
I'm not even gonna.
cartoon spin around
You
and
have to
goes,
say it.
ah, nuts.
Yes. That's so. I love how like they give you the most high tension ending, and then they just like, guys, it's okay. Let's just all laugh about this.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
great.
but by the way, I also like we got to shout out the second chance sequences, because I like you can throw the air tank at him and he just like he just banks it off his arm
What did
like
you? Yeah.
it's like whatever. Yeah, I'm Iron Man or something. This doesn't phase me. Like didn't even leave a bruise apparently. And then of course say good night, Gracie, or say good night,
Yes.
Nancy.
Yeah.
Um. Oh. Yes. It
But
is
then
such a
it has such a
it's so funny.
heroic,
It really
just
yeah.
happy ending because then she's like, "Way to go, buddy!" And
Yeah.
it's a happy music playing, and then of course Holt Scotto,
Yeah.
Nancy Drew.
Which means, he's a good guy at heart. He thought about it and realized, you know what? I think Nancy, or maybe he just thought this girl's about to do something stupid, even though she passed my quiz. So,
Probably.
you know, I don't want to deal with this problem. So,
Yeah.
anyway, but, he did the right thing, got the Coast Guard involved. So,
Yeah, and
yeah.
that's the end sequence, and then of course you have the closing out letter with all the of course the newspaper clippings that show you Andy Jason in an orange jumpsuit, which is so good.
Yeah. Orca trained by Russians for covert military operations. You know what? It's fine. I can suspend a lot of
Shake my
disbelief. It's
head,
fine.
shake my
It's it's
head.
it's it's fine. Um yes. And kind of a satisfying, like I do appreciate, especially because they played up the small town drama so much. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a nice touch that like you see Katie clearly kind of made amends with Holt and now she's gonna vote for him. So they kind of give you that oh, it looks like she did finally like she became one of the residents of Snake Horse Harbor and now they accept her. And of course Caddy. Caddy must say goodbye.
Love it.
Mhm. Yeah. So like that's the whole game. Oh my goodness. So much. It is a great game. I did want to mention Cart, and I realized like we've already been talking for quite a bit, but I did just wanted to mention because I know you and this is another conversation that you and I have had before is about this game's story. I know
Yeah.
you have come venting to me before about some people kind of they come down on this game for they say that the story is like all over the place. Like they feel like Nancy she's given this sabotage and they're like she gets so sidetracked. Suddenly she's like, she's chasing down driftwood leads and doing scavenger hunts for Hilda Swenson like and I just she's just gotten wildly off track like and they feel like the story is kind of a mess and all over the place because of that. I wanted to talk to you specifically about that because this game actually I feel like they anticipated the haters and they address the matter. Okay, again, this is where I recommend always make your phone conversations. If you guys are not the type to usually play these games and make phone calls, make phone calls. You would be amazed at the number of things that fall into place by hearing the conversations in the phone calls. Because I did notice in playing this game, Carter, that Nancy on two separate occasions talking to the Hardy Boys and Bess and George. Nancy herself will comment on like I feel like I'm just getting way sidetracked. Like I'm supposed to be figuring out who sabotaged Katie's boat, but now I'm like doing this and doing stuff with the shipwreck, doing stuff for Hilda
I
Swenson. Like
remember that
Nancy
combo.
Nancy herself brings up like I think I've lost the plot here. Like so the game recognized this could potentially be an issue and how they handled it is first of all Joe will point out like you know yes like Nancy leave no stone unturned and Bess tells her like follow your instincts no matter how bizarre they are like trust yourself and she even talks about like after she finds the trap door to the sea cave she tells the Hardy Boys like I just feel like I'm so off track like well how does this have anything to do with Katie and Frank tells her like I think you're really close to something and Joe tells her like doors are flying open everywhere you just got to keep it up um so I just wanted to make sure like that we address that like I guess if people don't like this game's story, that's their prerogative. But I don't think it's really fair to say that it's poorly written and kind of goes all over the place.
No.
Because the game makes it very apparent through the phone conversations that the whole point is Nancy, as a detective, she needs to trust her instincts. And things that seem like they have no connection to each other, follow the lead. Trust yourself. It will all fit together somehow. So I just wanted to make sure that like we brought that up.
Yeah. No. Well, thank you for bringing it up. I have seen many reviews of Danger on Deception Island. I actually purposely go search them out because I want to know what people think. I want to know what people think.
Do you hate read negative reviews of your favorite game?
I do, but only because of
he does people. I've been on the receiving end of many a rant. Yes.
But only because of of what people don't like. Honestly, what people say they don't like about it. I'm like, but I don't think that that's right though about that though. Like what you're just bringing up about the story. I think a lot of what was weaved in the story is there and makes sense. I'm like,
yeah,
but don't but no, really though, think about the story. Like there's a side of people in town that are upset because they don't want to have to lose time and money traveling far across, so they're upset about that. And there's a side that's like, save the orca, we want to return it to its pod and make it healthy. And like there's this opposing sides. And you've got Katie, who is having the benefit of being able to get close to the whale, and other people are having to suffer, like Andy Jason, who has a whale watching tour and has to stay. So and now she's like, everything is, it goes together.
But then also to me, it's very apparent, like, just look at the ending. It feels like a no-brainer to me. Like Andy Jason both created and took advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
He placed the orca there knowing it would cause a problem. Like he took advantage of this situation I will say Andy probably did not anticipate the outcome of the town like deciding like only Katie could get close to the orca, but still, Andy's just masterminding this like whole situation. He doesn't care who he harms. Like he just wants animal furs off a shipwreck. And of course, people could say like, well, why does he want them? I don't know, because he's greedy? Because he's a villain. He's just a bad guy. Like the bad guy must do bad guy things.
I think also too the parts where they bring up like, well, this doesn't make sense. It's like, but then you bring in Benjamin Hawkins and Cataborosaurus and Hilda Swenson, but really, I know it's like a bunch of different topics, but they all go together.
Yes, it really does. So, if you sit down and kind of just like made a map of everything, it would all connect.
It would
somehow.
It really would.
Yes, and it's very obvious. Like Katie ends up becoming a problem because Katie's the one who can get close to the orca, and so they, she saw something she wasn't supposed to, and that's why they kidnapped her. That's why they sabotaged her boat. They were trying to stop her from doing exactly what she did at the end of the game, which is getting too close to the orca when it was helping the bad guys.
And the reason why we learn about Benjamin Hawkins is because you have to have a reason why there's all these tunnels and why there's because Shanghaiing took place and like you.
Yeah. And could they have fleshed Benjamin Hawkins out more, maybe given us some material about him? Absolutely, they could have. Like I will concede he's not as fleshed out as like Dirk Valentine.
Yes.
Or some of the other historical characters in the game, but still. Like they do put all the pieces in place. So I think, if people maybe don't like it, don't love the way it works, like, okay, again, we respect everyone's onions. If you're listening to this and you don't like this game,
that's definitely your onion. I'm just mentioning about the whole like,
but yeah.
Oh, well, it has a terrible story.
It's not as chaotic as it feels.
I was like, the story's good. The story is
highly
good.
Yeah, highly purposeful and all woven together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually quite impressed when I was replaying this game.
I've yeah.
I was like, man, no, they do just they are dropping breadcrumbs
Mm-hmm.
everywhere.
Storytelling is good. And look, I've even read
Yeah,
in some people's reviews that they don't even like the music in this game. And I'm like, how? How do you not?
that's
It's
sad.
such good
I will say
music.
I feel sad. I do feel sad for anyone who feels that.
Yeah. So just reading people's reviews, I have read those things and I'm like, I don't understand. But generally, I guess kind of almost coming back in turn to what we talked about at the very beginning, this is a very well-loved game for a lot of people. And I think a lot of it has to do with um, the cozy atmosphere that it sets. I think, if anything, that's probably one of the best things that this game does, and probably one of the most atmospheric games in the series. So it's one that I will always, always,
I
always come
agree.
back to and hold close to my Nancy Drew loving heart, because it was the first one. And every time I play it, I transport back to the first time I played it.
Yes. And like honestly, I feel like I just like walked down memory lane with you. Just yes.
It was
Um
lovely.
Reminiscing on all the iconic dialogue and
Talking
yes,
about
how
some
we felt
very iconic moments.
encountering some of these puzzles for the first time and stuff like that. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think
Great to
you
relive it.
should kind of tell us a little bit more about next week.
Yes. So Carter got to have an episode for his favorite game. So next week will be our episode for my favorite game, which I have been on record many times as saying is Secret of Shadow
Bum,
Ranch.
ba, 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 da, da.
Yes. And I am very excited about this conversation because you know what? I think there are some conversations as great as that game is and as much as most people love it. There are some conversations about how great it is that I really haven't gotten to have with Carter or like really anyone yet. So I'm excited to just point out things that really like bring me joy and stand out to me, especially and y'all know that I love storytelling. When I tell you already, Shadow Ranch storytelling off the charts. Like if Danger on Deception Island is our the vibes are off the charts,
Mhm.
I think there are some essential elements to Shadow Ranch's like story that are really off the charts. Lots of things that are great about it, but I'm just very excited.
I
So
agree. I
so
agree.
come
And
back to hear about one of the all-time favorite Nancy Drew games.
I can't wait to dive in with that with you, Tori, next week. And I hope you guys had a great time going down Danger on Deception Island memory lane with us. And get on your horse and put your cowboy hat on for next week as we dive into Secret of Shadow Ranch. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye, you guys.